New York Giant fans. Why is my voice echoing off of something? I'm trying to figure that out. But it is day 2 of the NFL draft for the New York Giants. I am super excited. Thank you guys to everybody for being here. Of course, we're going to talk about what went down yesterday. Some big trades went down yesterday. Of course, initially, there's going to be incredible negativity like you always expect whenever the New York Giants make a draft pick, whenever they make a vital decision. Unfortunately, one of my best subscribers told me unsubscribe because I liked the trade. We're going to go over just that. And I was like, what? We're going to go over just how good I think that trade was when you put it in perspective. There was a trade where a team jumped the same amount of spots, and we're going to go over what they got, and we're going to go over what the New York Giants got at number 11. But I thought it was a great trade for the New York Giants. We're going to go over Kadarius Toney, a bit of a surprise pick for some people, and we're going to get into some of the prospects for the New York Giants today and talk about where I think we could be headed. G-Nation, man, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it. He says, it feels good. Tony. Listen, man, I'm not phony. You go back to watch my Gettleman project, the third 6th-round mock draft I did. I talked about how much I like Kadarius Toney. Would have preferred him at 42. But if I'm being honest, I never thought he was going to get to 42. I thought he'd go in the 23 to 35 range. I actually had him going to the Jets in my first mock draft this year at number 23 with their 2nd-round pick. I thought that's where he wanted to go, where he was probably going to go. And if the New York Giants wanted him, they probably felt like they had to take him at number 20. I do think he's the type of wide receiver that really is kind of a missing link to this receiving core. We talk about needing guys that create separation. We talk about needing guys that have versatility. This is a guy that creates a ton of separation. Go and look at his film before you judge the pick. Yes, I say he's a good route runner. Some people say he's not fully developed with route. He kind of beats people with his quickness. Regardless, the guy creates separation, something we desperately need with this team. He also brings a lot of versatility. The guy could play the running back spot, but I really want to talk about the trade. I really want to talk about some of the prospects that the New York Giants could be looking at today because there are a ton, in my opinion, that the New York Giants could be looking at today. There's a lot of players that dropped. There's a lot of offensive linemen. There's a lot of edge rushers. There's a lot of versatile linebackers. I have a list of about 20 to 25 prospects. I'm hoping that the New York Giants end up with 2 of them by day's end. I think the Giants have to focus on the edge. I think the Giants have to focus on the line. I think that's what you're looking at unless they're blown away by a prospect that's there. Maybe a guy like Christian Barmore, even though we don't need defensive line help. That guy is way too good to still be on the board. I don't even think he'll be there when we're up at 42, though. But we'll see what the New York Giants ultimately end up deciding to do. Peter, man, thank you very much. Getting Toney a 1st to 4th and a 5th, all for the 20th overall pick is truly phenomenal. And I'm happy, but I deeply hate the Eagles for this and everything else and hope ruin comes upon them in the next 100 years. Okay, here's what I want to talk about, guys, real quick. And I know it's not the same exact trade. Go back and look at last night. New York Jets traded up from 23 to 14. They moved 9 spots. Chicago Bears traded up from 20 to 11. Granted, 11's a little bit higher. You should expect a little bit more. Do you know what the New York Jets had to give up to jump from 23 to 14? 9 spots. The New York Jets gave up the 23rd pick, the 66th pick, which is a early 3rd round pick, and the 86th pick. So 2 3rd-round picks, 1 early, 1 late, and the 23rd overall pick. The Vikings gave them back the 14th and 143. So they got 2 3rd-round picks to jump 9 spots. The New York Giants got a 5th-round pick this year, a 4th-round pick when it is more valuable next year, and an additional 1st-round pick that could easily be a top 7 or 8 pick. The New York Giants got a lot more, in my opinion, than the Minnesota Vikings did for trading down, not to mention the picks in next year's draft. Everybody talked about how they carry so much more. It's much more valuable than the picks in this year's draft because you're going to have a normal offseason to evaluate these players. In my opinion, the New York Giants made a really good deal where they were at number 20 overall. Yeah, I was a big Slater guy. Would I have been upset if we drafted Slater? Absolutely not. But I do like the trade. I do think the New York Giants really made a good deal here. I think they got very good worth with that number 11 overall selection. Josh, man, thank you very much. New draft pick, new profile pick. Let's go. Kadarius Toney, New York Giants, my man. Let's go is right. Can't wait to see how they fill out the rest of this roster today, my man. But yeah, I like the pick, man. No doubt about it. And ATG Rico, man, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it. And let's see. George says on ESPN Philly AM radio, they said Dave Gettleman should be fired for letting Philly get Smith and that Judge is a football meathead for last season's presser. You think I care what Philadelphia has to say? Do you think I care what Philadelphia has to say? The Giants made a good deal. They got a good wide receiver. He fits our scheme, and we helped our future. The other thing that it does that I talked about in my trade reaction video, it also creates insurance for Daniel Jones, and we all want to think and hope that Daniel Jones is going to be the guy long term. Now, next year, and take a look at the Bears' schedule if you haven't done it. I'm going to tell you the Bears' schedule right now. You ready for the Bears' schedule? And keep in mind, they're going to have a rookie quarterback. Okay? How did Justin Herbert do? Everybody said Justin Herbert was great. What was the team's record? Where they went 6 games? So rookie quarterbacks traditionally don't have great records. And I know Dalton may start. Okay. Is Dalton that good of a quarterback? Let's go over their schedule, their home schedule. Arizona Cardinals, Baltimore Ravens, Bengals with the second-year Burrow. Who knows? The Giants, the Niners, the Lions, the Packers, and the Vikings. Away, the Browns, the Rams, the Steelers, the Seahawks, the Bucks, the Lions, the Packers, and the Vikings. They're not winning more than 7 games, especially with a rookie quarterback. The New York Giants are going to get a good first-round pick next year from the Chicago Bears, I would think, in the first half of the draft. I think it was a great trade. Clocks, man, thank you very much. Chris, thoughts on Cosme to the Giants at 42? He's on my list. I'm going to go, you know what? I'll read my list right now. And this is for 42 and 76. I would like 2 of these players. JOK, most people feel he's the best player on the board right now. Azeez Ojulari has injury concerns, but he does fit the scheme very well. Tevin Jenkins, I love him. Big hog molly. Asante Samuel Jr., cornerback, but is very good. Most people had him going in the first round. Christian Barmore, a first-round talent, would stick on the defensive line. Joseph Asai, Wyatt Davis, Carlos Basham, the edge out of Wake Forest, Jalen Mayfield, the tackle out of Michigan, Creed Humphrey, the center out of Oklahoma, Sam Cosme, the guy that you just said could potentially take him at 42. Landon Dickerson, obviously grew up a Giants fan. A lot of Giants fans like him. He had 2 ACL tears, though. Got to worry a little bit about that. Nick Bolton, the middle linebacker prospect. Jabril Cox, really good coverage player out of LSU. Liam Eichenberg out of Notre Dame. We all know they produce good offensive linemen. Deontay Brown, the big fellow, the guard. Milton Williams is a D tackle prospect I really like. Check him out if you haven't done so. Had a really impressive pro day. Had better numbers than Aaron Donald. Trey Smith, the guard prospect out of Tennessee. Of course, we have ties there. Ben Cleveland out of Georgia. And Kendrick Green. If they end up with 2 names from that list, I will be very happy at day's end. That's about 20 names for you, Clocks. I like all those players. Cosme's one of them. And I think we're going Hog, or I think we're going edge here in this round. But there's a lot of players on the board that the New York Giants could be looking at. Nicky, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, Chris, go do a win-loss for the Bears right now. This pick will be top 10. Yeah, I just looked at the schedule. I say 7 wins max. And I think they could win 4 or 5. If they start a rookie quarterback, Justin Fields is going to struggle. He's going to go through his lumps. And yeah, I'm with you on that. I think we're going to get a very high first-round pick next year, Nicky Sav. I'm with you on that, my man. And I think people are going to look back at this trade that flipped out and they're going to say, wow, I was an idiot. In the end, let's say we get the 9th pick next year. So we got the 20th pick, the 9th pick next year in a draft where you have, better preparation. It's not a COVID year. You got a 4th round pick and a 5th round pick for the 11th pick. And you got insurance for Daniel Jones in case he doesn't work out. You have the ability to potentially trade up and get a quarterback with 2 first-round picks next year. It was a great trade. Yuri, man, thank you very much. We're taking a hog or an edge. Creed or Dickerson. Keep an eye on Quincy Roche. He's another guy I should have put on my list. I would hope maybe we could get Roche in the 4th, but he's another guy that I would not be upset at all if we took Quincy Roche in the 3rd round. I like him. He actually impressed as well out of Miami. Went to Temple, fits our scheme. Wouldn't be upset at all with Quincy Roche at 76 also. Kevin, thank you very much. Love the trade, hate the pick. Toney only had 1 good year of production in an offense that was basically custom built for him. Off-field issue concerns. Yeah, I get the off-the-field issue concerns. The 1 year of production, whatever. I just think he got a bigger role with the offense. I think he's the type of player that could really help this offense. I'm not going to say I love the pick. I don't think we got great value. I like the player. I think he's a good player, and I think he's the type of player that could help this offense. I don't love the pick. I don't think it was incredible value, but I do think he's a nice piece to this receiving core. And you look at this receiving core right now. Right now, John Ross is our 5th receiver. Darius Slayton's probably our 4. We got incredible depth now in this receiving core, and we got receivers that could do a lot of different things. You think about Evan Ingram, all the pitches he was getting in the backfield last year. Well, now you're going to have Kadarius Toney getting those pitches. I think he brings a different element to this offense. The off the field stuff, maybe you worry about that a little bit. To what I understand, though, there was a legal gun. There was nothing bad there that he had in his car. I don't remember what the other thing was, but I'll have to look more into it. Great, man. Thank you very much. A lot of draft guys have him as a wide receiver 4. He's raw, but with upside is huge. Will be used like Deebo Samuel. Yeah, Deebo Samuel's. Curtis Samuel's a guy that I talked about last night. Also, the Bears will suck. Top 10 pick next year. I'm with you on that, man. I think we helped our future dramatically, man, with that trade. Jared says, Bateman, I think, will be better overall. Not mad, though. Yeah, well, you saw it in my video last night. I'm being honest. I had Toney 5. I even mentioned Toney in my reaction video because at the time, I'm just thinking edge, because I thought we were probably going to go Kwity Paye. And then I started mentioning Tevin Jenkins and some of the offensive linemen. And then towards the end, I said, well, you know what, Chris? Don't forget, they could very well go wide receiver here. The first name I said was Bateman. Bateman was my wide receiver 4. The second guy I mentioned was Kadarius Toney. And then I said, maybe it's a little bit early because I had him going, like I said, in that 23 to 35 range. But I do think he's a wide receiver that does fit our scheme very well. And I'm not upset that we drafted him. Let's wait and see what we do the next 2 days. But I like Toney. Sean, man, thank you very much. What's up, Dana? We got our new weapon. Now it's time for a hog. Yeah, I think we need at least one hog today. In the second or the third round, and we definitely need an edge. I think that's what you're looking at today, unless there's a player there that absolutely blows them away that they can't pass up. ATG, man, thank you very much. I like Jabril Cox. I don't think I want to take Cox at 42. I do like him. I do think he fit our scheme very well. If he slips to 76, I take him in a second. I just think we have more pressing needs right now in this team, but I wouldn't be upset if we took him. I like Jabril Cox. Super versatile, would fit the scheme, good in coverage. I like him. I would love him at 76. I think I would prefer an offensive lineman today with our first pick, but we'll see, ATG. But I do like him a lot. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anybody here because sometimes it skips. I got Yuri, I got Grim, I got Jared, Sean, ATG, and next up on the phone is New York Giants. I'm going to read it here. Our D works without an edge. O doesn't work without hogs. I mean, yeah. We definitely need another offensive lineman. There's no doubt about it. And I expect one today. I think you're going to get one in the second or the third. We got AVT without touching nothing for next year. Dylan, I'm going to be honest with you. I just talked about the trade, and I was comparing us to the Vikings because the Vikings were the team that traded down like us. From a Jets perspective, you robbed them, in my opinion. You traded up to 14. Granted, it wasn't for a quarterback, but you traded up to 14. You give up 2/3, and you got an additional pick back. I think Chicago gave up a lot more than you did to move up. So I think you guys got a good deal. And Duran, man, thank you very much. If DJ puts it together, how do you scheme against us? We got weapons all over. We're going to be unpredictable. You got to also factor in Saquon Barkley being back. The New York Giants got a ton of weapons, and they got a ton of people that could do different things on this offense right now. Kevin, man, thank you very much. Put Toney on Alabama, and he's a top 10 pick. I love the pick. Plus first-round pick on a team starting Dalton rookie, top 10 next year, 8+ grade in the first. Kevin, in the end, we're going to look back at it. Even if the Bears surprise and it's the 20th pick, which I don't think they're going to do, it's still a good trade. You get the 20th pick this year, the 20th pick next year, and a 4th and a 5th. It's still a good trade. Energy, man, thank you very much. Great move by Ghetto God. Philly and Dallas, shut up. You have no cornerback to cover us. Enjoy the journey to the bottom. Go Big Blue. Love it, man. Love it, man. Energy Force Training. My man. Let's go. Let's go. And, I think what also added to the disappointment, I'm going to have a blue moon, by the way. You know what I think also added to the disappointment of this trade last night from Giants fans? Devontae Smith and Micah Parsons, 2 players that we really wanted. They went to our division rivals. But when you just look at the trade, it was a good trade. Pete, man, thank you very much. Starting to wonder, Galladay, Toney, Slayton, Shep, Ross, Ingram, Rudolph, Saquon. You're only getting 5 on the field at once. Who's your bench guys? I think Ingram's still going to be in the starting lineup. I think they're going to run a lot of 2 tight end sets, though. Where, obviously Ingram and Rudolph will be on the field at once. I think Ross is definitely on the bench. I think Slayton is probably going to be the wide receiver 4. I think Toney will be in the starting lineup. But who knows? Maybe they start Slayton and they slowly integrate Toney there. But Toney's going to get his options. He's going to get his plays. He probably will even act as the 3rd running back. He played a lot of running back well at Florida. He had almost 600 yards rushing for his career with the Gators. So I think they'll use him a little bit on jet sweeps in the backfield. They'll find ways to get him the ball in open space. I still think Slayton will get some time, but in a reduced role. For sure, Ross is going to be our wide receiver 5 at this point in time. And that's good. We got good depth. Julie Love, man, thank you very much. Burleson says Toney is the steal of the draft. I like the pick, but I wouldn't go that far. Nate Burleson is, if we're being honest, guys, Nate Burleson is always uber above and beyond for the Giants. People say I might be biased. That guy's biased. Last year, he picked us to go to the playoffs. He said we were going to go like 10-6, 11-5. I like Kadarius Toney. He's actually one of my favorite players in this year's draft. That's why I had him mocked to us in my last Gettleman project because I thought that he fit our scheme so well, but I wouldn't say it was a steal. And Toes, man, thank you very much. Strongly believe the value of an interior offensive line at 42 outweighs that of an edge rusher, unless Ojulari is there. Humphrey or Wyatt Davis, please. Yeah, I completely, unless JOK, I think JOK is a possibility as well. But what I'm going to say is this, like, say we get Azeez Ojulari, right? I think a lot of Giants fans would have been completely, like, for the ones that hate the Kadarius Toney pick, and that's why you got to wait till the whole draft plays out. If those fans are being honest with themselves, had we taken Azeez Ojulari at 20, and we got Toney at 42, they would have been jumping for joy. So let's see what we get at 42. Azeez Ojulari still on the board. Like I said, there's some injury concerns there. I do think he fits the scheme. He's a little bit limited as an edge rusher in terms of, a lot of people say he doesn't have all the moves yet, but I think he fits the scheme, and I think he'd be a pretty good pick. Let me make sure I don't miss anybody here. W. Climber, man, he says, can you break down the trade via the Shramp? What are you talking about? I'm assuming you're talking about the Jimmy Johnson point chart. Yeah, I was actually looking at it last night, but yeah, I'll look at it. It's pretty fair, but to me, the way that they evaluate the trades is pretty stupid. I'm not going to show it because you're not even going to be able to read it because it's so small. But the Giants dropped from 11 to 20. 11 was worth $12.50, 20 was worth $8.50, so it's a 400-point discrepancy. The way they evaluate a first-round pick is they base it off a second for next year's draft because it's a future pick. So that's worth 380 points. So that alone pretty much makes up for the 400-point discrepancy. It's 380 points. And then we got a fourth and a fifth. A fifth this year, a fourth next. So they both are equivalent to a fifth because the fourth is equivalent to a pick later because it's a future pick. And yeah, those are about 30 points apiece. So it's pretty much offsetting, but I would much rather have a future first than 2/3. I think the Giants did a good job with this trade. But yeah, I was actually looking at it last night before I went to bed. John, man, thank you very much. I think we should go Wyatt Davis or Creed at 42nd. Defense is already top 10 without an edge, and go edge in the third and draft Monty Rice. Monty Rice is a solid linebacker out of Georgia. You think we should go? I would love Creed. I would love interior offensive lineman. I would love today with the 42nd pick. If they wait till the third, they wait till the third. Maybe you get a guy like Ben Cleveland if they're in love with the defensive player that's there. There's a lot of talented players still on the board, so I'm not going to fully evaluate the 42nd pick until I see the 76th. I'm going to take the day as a whole. But let's see what we do first. I agree that we definitely need an offensive lineman. T-Man, thank you very much. I love the trade, and the pick wasn't a reach. Yeah, you could argue it was a slight reach, but it wasn't a crazy reach. But how many wide receivers do you need to see if DJ is the guy? And what's left at offensive line edge? Okay, yeah. So, and I'm sure there's people in the chat that have other players, but these are the names that I wrote down today. I'll read it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 20 prospects that I like. Most of them are on the offensive line or the edge. JOK, coverage linebacker. Most people thought was going in the first round out of Notre Dame. Azeez Ojulari, he's an edge out of Georgia, fits our scheme. Tevin Jenkins, he's a tackle prospect. Watch that guy. That guy's nasty. Asante Samuel Jr., he's a corner, but a lot of people felt like he was a first-round talent. Christian Barmore, he's a defensive tackle, but again, first-round talent, shouldn't still be on the board. Joseph Asai, good edge prospect. Wyatt Davis, interior offensive lineman. He's a guard. Carlos Basham, he's an edge prospect out of Wake Forest who's supposed to go around where we're picking. Jalen Mayfield, a tackle prospect. Creed Humphrey, a center. Sam Cosmi, a tackle. Landon Dickerson, interior offensive line, center/guard. Nick Bolton, middle linebacker. Jabril Cox, coverage linebacker. Liam Eichenberg, I think he's a tackle out of Notre Dame. Deontay Brown's a guard. Milton Williams, a defensive tackle. Trey Smith, a guard. Ben Cleveland, a guard. And Kendrick Green, a guard. Those last three guys I probably prefer more in the third round, but I would be okay with taking any one of those guys over our next two picks. So there's a lot of offensive linemen there. There's a lot of edges there. There's a lot of linebackers there. Let's see. And Grimman, thank you very much. Rump from Duke he's been moving up our boards. I don't think I want him today. But day 3, I'd be completely fine with him. Even if we took him in the 4th round, I'd be completely fine with him. I don't think I would take him today, though. Joseph, man, thank you very much. Remember last night when you and Doug leaked your own cut? Yeah, I don't know what happened. I thought I pressed the mute button, and I apologize. I apologize for that if it ruined the stream, guys. I didn't mean to do that. Angel, man, thank you very much. NFL Network says we got a steal getting Toney. Yeah, NFL Network loved it. PFF loved it. Some people are going to love it. Some people are going to hate it. Some people are going to be miserable no matter what, and some people are going to be positive no matter what. I like the pick. I like the player. I'll give it like a B. Like I'm not like above and beyond. Like I'm not like last year, Andrew Thomas, I was in love. I like Kadarius Toney a lot. Like I said, he was one of my favorite players in this year's draft, and I would have loved him at 42. So that's why I'm not down on the pick, and I want to see what we do here with the rest of the draft. But I do like the player, and I think he adds a different dynamic to our receiving core. Shy man, thank you very much. I am really excited we got the Joker. Let's get them hogs. That's right, my man. And Paul says, I love the pick. Do you know they picked Toney to add some depth at the running back? Also, I know we need offensive line, but I don't know if you pass up JOK if he's there. Yeah, actually, I said that today in my Discord, and I think I said it today at the top of the stream. He may act as that third running back, like we all talked about, that we need more depth in that running back. Well, last year, I mean, I know I think it was 550 yards on the ground for his career, and if you watch some of his film and his highlights, he actually lines up as a running back a decent amount of the time with Florida. But over the course of his career at Florida, he had 66 carries for 580 yards. Last year, he had 161 yards and 19 carries. So, again, he's probably not going to be our RB3, but he's definitely going to be a guy that I think we're going to give a couple of carries a game to try to create big plays. Freddie, man, thank you very much. What's up, Chris? My two favorite teams this year are the Giants and whoever are playing the Bears. Yeah, it's kind of like the Knicks, where, who's ever playing the Mavericks, because we got their pick as well. So, yeah, man, and I think it was a good trade. Kevin, man, thank you very much. Kadarius Toney is the next Percy Harvin +1. Yeah, that, and I even said that in my video. I watched it back today, a week ago when I did the mock draft. That's what everybody said about him. That was his player comparison, and it makes a lot of sense. Percy Harvin is similar to Kadarius Toney in terms of his play style. So, the one thing I will say, Percy Harvin did have a lot of injury history in the NFL, so hopefully that's not the case here, but he was a really good talent. Dependable line, man, thank you very much. After watching some Kadarius Toney highlights and familiarizing myself with him, I love it. We have another playmaker. Now we just need to protect DJ. What do you think of Asante Samuel, maybe Aziz, or O-line in round 2? Yeah, if Asante Samuel's there, and I know cornerback's not a huge need of ours, but I wouldn't be upset at all if we drafted him. This is a guy that many felt were going to the Packers in the first round, the Saints in the first round. I don't think we're going to take him. I think we need to go somewhere else. But if we took him and went offensive line in the third, I'm not going to scream. I think he'll probably be off the board when we pick. Aziz, I think, is definitely a possibility. And, O-line is kind of where I want to go. John, man, thank you very much. Toney can play Wildcat also. Yeah, he played quarterback in high school. I also think he could help with special teams if they want to use him in that way. So I think he's a nice little piece for this Giants offense. Carlo, man, thank you very much. Do you think Ingram is a Giant after today? Yes. I don't think we're going to trade him. I could be wrong, but I don't think we're going to trade him. I think Ingram will be here at the start of next year. Formula Fitness, man, thank you very much. Our roster moves progress last season and projection is real. Miami Dolphin-ish. Now we stockpile picks for next year. We are looking real nice. Yeah, think about that. That's what the Dolphins did, right? You look at the Dolphins, they got multiple first-round picks the last couple of years, and they built through the draft. They built with young talent. We're kind of doing something similar with a trade like this. And, look at our weapons, by the way. Daniel Jones, and we definitely need to block, but the weapons are going to help the blocking as well because we're going to be a lot less predictable. Guys like Kadarius Toney are going to get open real fast. He's good at separation. Ross adds speed. Barkley being back. You compare our weapons from last year to this year. Last year, Evan Ingram was the number one option in the passing game. And Wayne Gallman was our starting running back for the whole year pretty much. So it was Wayne Gallman, Evan Ingram, Golden Tate, Darius Slayton, and Sterling Shepard. This year, you've got Kenny Golladay. You had Kadarius Toney. You got Sterling Shepard back. You got Saquon Barkley. You had Kyle Rudolph. You've got Evan Ingram still. You've got John Ross. Like, we are loaded in terms of weaponry compared to last year. So I expect this offense to be more potent, and Daniel Jones should have a better year. I'm looking forward to seeing him hopefully progress, man. But thank you very much. Delano! Just to make sure I didn't skip anybody. Let's see. Got Paul, Freddie, Kevin, Dependable, John, Carlo, Formula. We're good. Okay. Delano came through the show. Love to Chris in the chat. Stand up. Remember, I was talking Humphrey since last year's draft. You and Bad Dog were talking Humphrey since last year's draft. He's a big Oklahoma fan. I'd be completely fine with Creed Humphrey. I actually had Humphrey. I was thinking about having Humphrey. I don't think I had him in my last mock to the Steelers, but I was thinking about having Humphrey to the New York Giants, to the Pittsburgh Steelers, rather, in the first round. They ended up going running back. I'd be fine with Humphrey at number 42 for the New York Giants. You'd probably have to move Gates over to the guard. And Frank, man, thank you very much. Stand up, new member. Welcome to the squad, my man. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. And Joel says, would you trade up for JOK? Let's see. No, I would not. And I know everybody loves JOK, and I get it. I would not. I don't want to trade up. I just think there's so many talented players, and I would like JOK, but I feel like if we don't get him, we'll be able to get a lineman. I would like JOK, but I don't think it's nearly as big of a need as a lineman or an edge. If JOK is there, you definitely think long and hard about taking him. You probably do take him. I don't think I would trade up. Let's say we trade up to 33 for the 5th. We picked up and a 3rd from next year. JOK would be perfect alongside Blake. He'd be a good fit, but I don't think I want to trade up and give up draft capital. I think there's a lot of good players there that we could take. If they do it, I mean, I'll be excited. JOK is a fun and exciting player, but I don't see it happening. Chime in, thank you very much. First reaction, Tony was not sure, but the more I watch this guy, I really like him. Power wide receiver, kind of an Andre Johnson meets Devin Hester type. Can't wait. Yeah, I think Percy Harvin is the best comparison for him. He's a guy that you can line up all over the field. TJ, man, thank you very much. I'm thinking the depth at the O-line is in the class goes much further than linebacker. So I'd rather have a linebacker in round 2 and offensive line in round 3. There's going to be some offensive linemen in round 3 that I like. I wouldn't be opposed if they do that. You know, if you get Azeez Ojulari, if you get JOK, I wouldn't be opposed to that. You know, I've talked about Kendrick Green a lot. I like him. He's a potential 3rd-round pick. Ben Cleveland's a potential 3rd-round pick. There's a couple of other guys that I could like in that area as well. So I wouldn't cry if they did that. I want either an edge or an offensive lineman with this first pick today, or a guy like JOK. Scott, man, thank you very much. Gettleman loves Senior Bowl players. What do you think of? Yeah, he's another guy that's moved up. Wasn't he the guy, Scott? Didn't he like show up his whole stomach at the Senior Bowl? He really popped up draft charts. I think he was like a 5th-round prospect before the Senior Bowl, and he really started to move up. I remember seeing all the pictures with like his shirt off. Yeah, I mean, we could go him as well. Like you said, Kadarius Toney had a great Senior Bowl day. That had something to do with him moving up. The other thing I wanted to point out, and I didn't even remember it until I watched my video back today when I did the Gettleman project. Kadarius Toney's broad jump was 11, I think it was 11.4, which is the average for a wide receiver is 10.2. That was like really high off the charts. A lot of people were talking about that. He had a really good pro day, and Kadarius Toney had a really good Senior Bowl. But you're right, the New York Giants historically do prioritize the Senior Bowl. JD, man, thank you very much. Great job last night. Nervous Tana is the best. By the way, I keep trying to shout him out. JD's been a long-time subscriber of mine. Go check him out. Making good content over there. Yeah, I can't help it, man. When we're on the clock in a big spot, man, the emotions come out, man. The emotions come out. But I know a lot of people want to see me flip out when something, maybe questionable happens like last night, but I'm not going to lie to you guys. And the proof is in the pudding. I've liked Kadarius Toney all along. I think he's a good player. So I'm not going to flip out over that pick. It may be been a slight reach, but I like Kadarius Toney. Pete, man, thank you very much. We need to start accepting that the narrative outside the building that we need serious O-line help because our line is not good is clearly not what they feel inside the building. That's true. I still think they're going to add a piece to this line today, Pete. But that's true. They obviously feel a lot stronger about the offensive line than we do. And as fans, if that's the case, we have to hope that they're right. They invested 3 picks last year. They were rookies. Maybe they feel like they're going to get a lot better with the coaches they brought in. They brought in 2 coaches on the offensive line. I still think they need to add an offensive lineman today with either that 2nd or 3rd round pick. And we'll see if that's ultimately what they elect to do. Obviously, they've prioritized getting Daniel Jones as much help as they possibly can with the weapons. I mean, they signed Rudolph, they signed Golladay, they signed Ross, and now they spend their 1st round pick on a weapon. So that's pretty obvious that was the mission statement going into next year. Craig, man, thank you very much. Tevin Jenkins is a mauler who finishes block. He's a big guy and could fit in at the right guard, replace Zeitler, or start at right tackle and make an immediate impact. Yeah, Craig, I like him. I actually watched a lot of film breakdowns of him, and he was a guy that was gaining a lot more traction as the draft process was going along. And, a lot of people asked me last night, could he shift the guard? I don't see why he couldn't. It's not like he's 6'9". I think he's 6'5". I would think the New York Giants would be able to shift him the guard if they, in fact, decided to draft him. But that remains to be seen if we end up taking him. Toesman, thank you very much. One thing, Dallas essentially traded Smith to Philly because his ceiling as an Eagle is Corey Coleman, while the ceiling here is prime Randy Moss. I don't know if I would go that far, but yeah, I mean, I think the way Dallas goes, and at first you're shocked. Like when you see Dallas make a 1st round trade with the Eagles, you're like, what the hell are they doing? But I think the way that Dallas looked at it was, well, if we don't make the trade, he's going to the Giants anyway. He's going to stay in division. We might as well get something for it. We're not going to take him. We're going to be able to trade down and still get the guy that we wanted at 10 at 12. So I completely understand why Dallas made the trade. Brock, man, thank you very much. JOK, Humphrey, or Joseph, please go Birds. I assume you're talking about Joseph Asai. Oh, no, you're talking about the corner out of Kentucky, right? You guys need a corner, so that makes sense. Asante Samuel Jr. would also make sense for you guys as well. But thank you very much, man. Yeah, I think you're talking about the corner out of Kentucky. Nate, man, thank you very much. Second, Humphrey or Dickerson and Surratt in the Surratt's another guy I should have put on my list. I almost did. I wouldn't mind him today either in the third round. I would not mind him today either in the third round. Simon, man, thank you very much. I was dying and laughing when you and Bad Dog were both on. I don't know what happened, Simon. I thought I hit the mute button, but apparently I didn't. I didn't even watch it back, but that must have been embarrassing. I wasn't looking at the chat because I didn't want anybody to blow the pick for me. Octave, man, thank you very much. Giants drafting Toney tells me we will probably cut Shepard after the season. Yeah, I thought that going into the draft, if I'm being honest. He's one concussion away. We invested a lot of money already at the wide receiver position in free agency this year. That's kind of tied up long term. We're gonna need salary cap space. I'm kind of with you. I think Shepard more than likely will not be a New York Giant after this year. Maybe he will be, but I would be leaning he will not be. Dependable line, man. Thank you very much. Did you catch that tweet of you and Bad Dog? I'm not sure. A lot of people tweeted me today, man. A lot of people. Oh, you mean our reaction? If that's what you mean, no, I did not. I did not. But a lot of people added me today, so maybe I missed something. But if it was a reaction, I did not. Let me just see here. I'm thinking depth on the O-line. The class goes much further than linebacker, so I'd rather have linebacker 2 and O-line 3, TJ Harris says. Scott Young says, get him in. I already got these. I just want to make sure I don't miss anybody. Mike's up next. I got Simon. Octave, Giants drafting Toney. Yeah, I already got that. I got Dependable Lion. Freelance, man. Thank you very much. Starting to feel like Judge and the O-line coach like what they see with what we have. I would like another offensive line, but if they feel like they can coach them. Yeah, I agree, Freelance, and I kind of accepted that going into the draft. Like, you guys know I'm an offensive line guy, and you guys know that I think that's our biggest need, but, I kind of backed off a bit, and I said, all right, I kind of expect them to go with a weapon. I expected them to go with a wide receiver in the first because, yeah, I do think that the New York Giants are higher on the offensive line than we are. And as fans, like I said, we have to hope that they're right with the coaching staff that they brought in. So I kind of agree with you on that. I think they're higher on them than we are. Hey, Madam Man, thank you very much for the $2 donation. I appreciate it. Joseph, he says, is Toney viable as a punt returner? I'm getting Santana Moss vibes from his highlights. We could definitely set an upgrade at that spot. Yeah, I think I remember looking at his stats. I think he only had I'm going to look now, but I think if I remember correctly, he only had, and I didn't look last night. I looked like a week ago when I had my mock. I think he had only 3 or 4 punt returns over his career. Oh, no, he had more than I thought. Last year, he had 7 kick returns for Florida, so he was used a bit in that role. He had 6 kick returns in 2018. So, yeah, and he had 11 punt returns last year. So, yeah, he was used as the punt and kick returner last year for Florida. So, yes, he does have experience in that role. And, yeah, I would expect the New York Giants to potentially use him at least early on in his career in that capacity. Mike, man, thank you very much. Screw the haters. If somebody wants to unsubscribe to you, he doesn't support you anyway. Haters. No, I mean, it is what it is. I was just like, the guy's been a great subscriber, and I was surprised. And I was like, you're unsubscribing because you disagree with my take on the trade? I thought the trade was a great trade. Pete, man, thank you very much. Let's just trust Toney himself and go with a combo of Devontae Adams, Alvin Kamara, combo comp. I sure hope so that is the case, man. Even if he's a 900 yard receiver, kind of like what Percy Harvin was when he was healthy and could be used as a big play threat both in the run and receiving game, I think he adds a lot to this offense. Just his speed and unpredictability opens up a lot of things for other players on this offense like Golladay and Barkley. So I think he's a good weapon that we added yesterday. And Dre Mack, man, thank you very much. Stand up, new member. Welcome to the squad, my man. Mike says, it's just devastating to lose Smith to Philly like that, and he will always be tied to us now, especially if he becomes a special player. Not sure we won. Well, like I said, and I get it. I maybe that's why I get why fans are negative from that aspect. The trade itself, I think we won. I just think we won because we weren't taking a quarterback anyway, and I think we got as much as you could have hoped for with a future first-round pick for a team that's probably going to be picking top 10 next year. But, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. They traded up to get him. You can't do much about that. We'll see how Devontae Smith turns out. It's not like wide receivers with the Eagles have really panned out in the past. We'll see. He's got question marks too. The guy's 165 pounds. Sam, man, thank you very much. Check what Saban had to say about our new toy. Or Sabone. I don't know if you meant Saban or Sabone. I'm guessing Saban. I don't know. I will try to check that out after, Sam. Thank you very much, buddy. Amen, thank you very much. I like Cosme second and Roche in the third. I'd be okay with that. I talked about Cosme. Cosme, I actually had going, I think, in the first in one of my early mocks, like the 30th or 31st pick. I'd be okay with Cosme at 42, and I'd be okay with Roche at 76. I'd probably prefer Roche in the fourth, but I'd be okay either way. Bearman, thank you very much. Glad we traded down. We got a good deal. The majority of what we probably would have went for were gone by that time. We were up. I'm glad we picked Toney instead of Elijah Moore. Yeah, I mean, the one thing you could say is we could have went with a guard. But obviously, like I've said, I think the Giants are higher on their offensive line than we are as fans. And that's why we didn't end up ultimately taking Rashawn Slater. George, man, thank you very much. Happy how last night turned out. Philly and Dallas working together to undermine us. Next Gen gave Toney and Chase an equal grade in athleticism of 99. Wow. I mean, when you watch Toney, he's elusive, man. The guy really is a fun player to watch. So I'm not surprised his athleticism grade was ranked that high. DJ Smooth, man, thank you very much. Today is the day, Javante. I'm going to be honest with you, DJ Smooth. I am scared to death that could happen today. I am scared to death that could happen today. I would not be happy if that happens. There were reports that came out about a week ago for the New York Giants that they may very well be looking at a day 2 running back, that they did a lot of research. I forgot who reported it, but I am scared that is a possibility. And hopefully that does not happen. G Nation, man, thank you very much. Would really love if you and Bad Dizzle let me call in on the stream, brothers. Stand up, Dana. Let's go, Giants. Yeah, maybe we'll have some call-ins today in between picks. The thing is, if I do that, so many people are going to try to get on and talk. Maybe I'll try to do it in between picks and have a couple of callers, but people have to understand I cannot get to everybody. You know, maybe we'll have like 3 or 4 people on. Maybe we'll do something like that. G Nation. But thank you very much, my man. And Jihad, man, thank you very much. If Azeez Ojulari, Wyatt Davis, and Landon Dickerson are still available at number 42, which would you take? I think I would take Azeez Ojulari, if I'm being honest. Wyatt Davis, a lot of people actually have potentially falling to 76. We'll see if that happens. I don't think it will. Landon Dickerson just scares me with the injury concerns. And I know Ojulari reportedly has them as well, but something came out today that he's clear. Landon Dickerson tore 2 ACLs. You know, he tore his ACL twice. So I think I would go with Ojulari and then try to get an offensive lineman in the 3rd round. I think. And John, man, thank you very much for the $2 donation. I appreciate it, my man. I think Ojulari also fits our scheme. So, Octave, man, thank you very much. 2nd Azeez Ojulari, 3rd Trey Smith. Like I said, Trey Smith has ties to the coaching staff. He's a guard out of Tennessee. We obviously just added Tennessee's former head coach, so that could make sense. Jimmy, man, thank you. He says, do you think Lorenzo Carter, almost 6'6", 258, who looks good off the edge, will be a big in this year's D? Maybe he's the reason we skipped edge. Yeah, Jimmy, as far as that goes, I don't know. You know, and I'm a big Carter fan. I thought Carter was going to break out last year for the Giants. I don't know how he's going to respond from the injury. You know, last year, obviously, you know, you don't know. Year to year with an injury like that, it may take him a year to fully recover. I do think he fits the scheme. I do think he could be good, but I still think he's definitely a major question mark with the injury that he had last year. So I don't have an answer for that in terms of whether I think he could be a number 1 edge or even a productive player next year until I find out how he looks. Jose, man, thank you very much. Sup, man, I like the pick a lot more today than last night. Damn Fireball. Catching up with the chat. We definitely won that trade. Rodgers to the Broncos. Yeah, Rodgers to the Broncos, man. They have a lot of good weapons over there. Obviously, they have a history. They brought in Peyton Manning. They've brought in veteran quarterbacks before, and they've won Super Bowls. So I think that'd be an interesting ad if the Broncos got him, and you'd get to see Mahomes versus Rodgers. And the Broncos are a lot more advanced than people think. It's just that their quarterback is so bad. So if you added Aaron Rodgers to that team, they'd instantly become one of the better teams in the league. James, man, thank you very much. Can we drop back a little in the second, perhaps gain another possible value pick? I wouldn't be opposed to it, to be completely honest with you. Be seeing all the names that are still on the board, depending on who falls to us. Like if they're super high on JOK, you stand pat, you make the pick. But depending on who falls to us, I would not be opposed to trading back. To be completely honest with you, I think there's still a number of good players there. And if you get another 3rd round pick or something like that, I wouldn't be opposed to it, James. But thank you very much, my man. Maybe a 4th round pick, whatever. You know, I don't know what the price would be depending on how far you traded back. I would guess they probably won't because they already traded back, but we'll see. Kevin, thank you very much. Even Devontae looked pissed. He went to yeah, he did. He looked furious last night that he went to Philly. Well, he knows that's where wide receivers go to die. DJ Spoonman, thank you very much. Molly and Max said we passed on Fields. What idiots. I bet you if we trade the picks to get a quarterback next year, they will. I said it today on Twitter. ESPN, and I don't like to badmouth anybody, but ESPN is clickbait. ESPN is completely clickbait. And it's why people go to podcasts. It's why people go to YouTube. It's what ESPN is clickbait. There is no reason. They were literally having a wide receiver discussion. And they were talking about what wide receivers could have a big year next year. And when they got to the Giants, as they were finishing the segment, they brought up that they didn't take a quarterback. We were never taking a quarterback. It's the dumbest talking point I've ever heard. And to me, it's just clickbait, and it's trying to stir up drama and controversy. Daniel, man, thank you very much. Bengals take a chase, really messed up pick 6-12. Yeah, well, if they took Penny Sewell, I think, who did the Dolphins? The Dolphins took Chase, right? No, the Dolphins took Waddle. Yeah, because Chase went 5, Waddle went 6. The Dolphins probably would have taken Chase. They may have still taken Waddle. Here's what I'm going to say. I don't know how much it messed it up, Daniel, because I think the Lions may have taken Waddle if he was there. I had them taking Waddle. I think they weren't nearly as high on Devontae Smith like me. I was much higher on Waddle than Devontae Smith. So I think they still may have taken Waddle had he been on the board. But we'll never know. But thank you very much, buddy. Jerome, man, thank you very much. I bet Judge drafts Landon Dickerson if available today. By the way, that trade was an A+. The trade was a slam dunk, grand slam, home run, whatever you want to call it. And Landon Dickerson makes sense. He fills the need. He grew up a Giants fan. I know that's probably why a lot of Giants fans want him, but he's tough. The thing I worry about, like I said, is the two ACL injuries. Mike, man, thank you very much. Kadarius Toney was trash 3 or 4 years of college. But, I mean, to me, he didn't have a role. So I don't know if he's trash. Like, he didn't have a role, right? Like, let me see. Like, in college, a lot of times he didn't get much of an opportunity. Let me see if he made starts. You know, a lot of times you're behind players on the depth chart. So that really does not concern me, to be completely honest with you. I watched the guy. I watched his highlights. I watched his film. I was impressed with him before the draft. So, not really, no. It does not. And Abe, thank you very much. What is the pick in round 5 we got from Chicago? I'll get the exact trade right now. Hold on. I think it was 164, if I'm not mistaken. But let me see. I think it was 164. Yep, 164. Giants got the 20th pick, the 164th pick. So that's an early 5th because when you factor in comp picks, that's a very early 5th, right? When you factor in the comp picks, or mid 5th maybe. And then a 1st and a 4th next year. So 164, Abe. Let's see. And Todd, man, thank you very much. Chris, how freaking excited are you going to be for the 2022 draft, especially if Daniel Jones is our franchise quarterback and the Bears are bottom 5? Well, yeah, Todd, if that happens, I mean, you know, who knows who's going to be the better players in that draft? We have no idea right now. But if that happens and we have a top 5 pick and say we're picking, 20, you're going to be able to get hopefully a high-end edge rusher with that 5th pick, I would feel, or an offensive lineman. I feel that would be your primary need there. And then with the other pick, or maybe a corner at number 20, that could be a need. James Bradbury would be on the last year of his contract. We'd have multiple options there in that first round, and the Giants are going to be able to add quality pieces in next year's draft. And it was really smart because next year I don't think we're going to be able to go hog wild in free agency because we spent so much this year, and we kind of backloaded salaries. So I think it was smart to kind of stockpile another first-round pick for next year, especially when you have more time to do research. Steve, man, thank you very much. I love the pick, man, and who should we get in the 2nd round and 3rd round? I mean, there's so many good players. Just the 2nd round, because I have a list of 20 players that I've mentioned several times. JOK, if he's there, you have to obviously think about him. Azeez Ojulari, Tevin Jenkins, Asante Samuel Jr., Christian Barmore, Joseph Asai, Wyatt Davis, Basham, Creed Humphrey, Sam Cosmi, Landon Dickerson. I would be fine with any of those guys. Like, there are so many good players on the board right now for the New York Giants to take, and any of them would fill a need. So we'll see who they take, but I think they're going to get a good player. I think there's a lot of good players there to be taken. And I think a lot of fans need to realize that the draft is not just one day. It's a 3-day process, and I think we're going to be able to fill some holes today. William, thank you very much. 42 needs to be a center, no excuses. I would prefer an offensive lineman. I'm not going to lie to you on that. I would prefer an offensive lineman, definitely with one of the 2 picks, and I would prefer it to be 42. Dennis, man, thank you very much. Messaged you yesterday about the Smith Waddle, and you said Toney would be a great late pick. You nailed it. Eagles tanking 1 to 4 to 5. Giants stand. Dennis, I'm not lying to you guys. The proof is in the pudding. I'm not just saying it because, people say last night on Bad Dog Stream, people say, oh, you're a home. No, I liked Kadarius Toney. I didn't think we would take him at 20. I thought he was a possibility at 42, even though I didn't think he was going to fall there. I thought he was going to go between 20 and 35, but I liked Kadarius Toney. He was my wide receiver 5 after Bateman. And I even said in my Discord the night before the draft, I actually might have preferred Toney to the Giants more than why is the name escape me? The guy that went to Minnesota, because I feel like he fit our scheme, like kind of what we needed. He brings a different element to that wide receiving core. I like Kadarius Toney a lot. And Q-Dog, man, thank you very much. Kadarius Toney reminds me of the great Dante Hall. His shiftiness, speed, and elusiveness will bring big dividends for Daniel. I like him a lot as a player. And we don't have that type of player in our wide receiving core right now. So I think he's a great compliment to a guy like Kenny Golladay. So I'm with it. I'm with the pick, man, Q-Dog. I'm with the pick. I think he's going to help your guy, Daniel Mother Blanket Jones. I hope you're doing well, Q-Dog. And Deception, man, thank you very much. I really like the pick. Toney is still fairly new to the wide receiver position and has growth potential. Route running reminds me of a Stephon Diggs and is also a passing threat, can also serve as a situational running back. And special teams. Don't forget, you can use him in special teams. And he has quarterback experience, by the way. The guy can throw the ball 60 yards. So don't be surprised if next year the Giants run a couple of trick plays with Kadarius Toney, similar to what they did with Odell Beckham. Remember when he threw the 2 touchdowns? He's going to be a fun player for the New York Giants. They're going to be able to use him in a variety of ways. NY Giants 26, man. Thank you very much. Chris, who wants up? No, it is what it is. I was surprised. That's all. I'm not complaining about it. The guy who did, I was just surprised. DJ Smooth, thank you very much. The trade was a home run for me. If Jones sucks next season and if Bears have a top 5 pick, quarterback, baby, I don't believe in Jones, but many ways to go. Well, yeah, I think for DJ Smooth, I think for the people that doubt Jones and think that he may not be the guy, I think this is a good trade for you guys as well because it gives you the added insurance that we could go up and get a quarterback. Even if the Bears have the 10th pick and say we're picking 20 and you feel like the quarterback may not be there, you could couple those picks and move up if you feel like you need to go up and get a quarterback. So I think it also accomplished that. Felipe, man, thank you very much, man, for the $5 donation, man. I really appreciate it, my man. And Nikki Sav, thank you very much. With that pick, the Giants with the 164 pick, that's a guy I gotta look into. I'll write him down though. Thibodeau? Is that Thibodeau? I don't even know how to pronounce that. But I will look at. I'm assuming you're talking about with the added pick that we made. I will look into him, Nikki. Let's see. Nikki's like a big time draft head. Dominic, man, thank you very much. Day two, bring on the Hogs. Stand up. Oh, today we're gonna be streaming. We're gonna start the stream at like 6:30 because the draft starts at 7. I'll probably go to like 4:30 with this stream. Take 2 hours off, eat dinner, so on and so forth. And I'm gonna be spamming Hogs when we're on the clock. You know it, Dominic. Deke, man, thank you very much. He says, why was your chat so mad you liked the pick, Chris? I didn't understand the negativity. It was an amazing trade. If we reached it, Deke, at the end of the day, I think what it is, Deke, I think fans like when I'm negative. They want me to be negative because I am a pretty optimistic person when it comes to the New York Giants, but it's how I feel. I honestly feel like we're going down the right path. And when it was a little bit of a surprise pick, even though I wasn't that surprised, go back and watch my reaction video. I even said, maybe Kadarius Toney. So I thought he was a little bit of a possibility, but I think fans want me to be negative when it's like a somewhat questionable move. But I'm not going to be negative. I loved the trade. I thought it was a great trade based on the circumstance, and I like Kadarius Toney as a player. I'm not going to tell you it was an A+ pick, but I think it was a good player that we added to this receiving core, and let's see what we do with the rest of the draft. I like Kadarius Toney. Kevin, man, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Love the trade. How does it add up on the Jimmy Johnson trade chart? Yeah, I just did it, Kevin. So basically, the way the trade chart works is a future first goes as a second. That's the way they evaluate it, even though I would much rather have a future first than a current second, especially when it's the Bears, who more than likely would be a top 10 to 15 pick next year. But it's a 400-point discrepancy. The Bears pick was worth $850. The Giants pick was worth $1,250. A second-round pick for the Bears is worth $380. So that alone pretty much offsets it. It's only a 20-point discrepancy, and then we got a 4th and a 5th. So it's pretty offsetting. The Giants got a few more points. But the fact that it's a future first, I think it should carry more weight than a second-round pick. So I think we did good on that chart, and I just think it was a good trade, man. And Q-Dog, man, thank you very much. I hope Kadarius Toney keeps his number 1 jersey. Hopefully he does. I like that. He seems like the type of player that should wear number 1. I like that. DJ Spoon, man, thank you very much. That's in 22. Chris Cave. We'll see. I don't even want to think about the 22 draft right now, but we'll see. We'll see when we get there. Tay, man, thank you very much. Burleson and ESPN said we got the steal. Yeah, the one thing I'll say, and I obviously I like Nate Burleson because he's always very pro Giants. But one thing I'll say, that guy is a big-time homer for the New York Giants. Last year, he had us going to the playoffs at like 11-5. But I obviously like what Burleson had to say. I wouldn't go too far to say that it was a steal, but I definitely wouldn't go. I definitely wouldn't say it was a bad pick. Tyler, man, thank you very much. Would you rather take Landon Dickerson or Creed Humphrey? I take Creed. Also, do you think Dickerson will fall because of injury? I think he should. Dickerson. And I know he's a first-round talent. I know he's fun to watch. I know he's mean. The guy tore his ACL twice. I would be scared of picking him in the second round. So I'd rather take Creed Humphrey, to be honest with you. I'm not going to be upset if we take Dickerson at 42. He is a good player, but I think the injury concerns are legitimate. And Jeremy, man, thank you very much. Judge going to turn Toney into a robot. It's going to be interesting to see. You know, the other thing that I think this pick does, Jeremy, I think it shows you that the New York Giants offense this year is going to be a lot more creative. But it's going to be interesting to see how the New York Giants implement him into this offense with J.C. Garrett. Like a lot of people say the J.C. Garrett offense is kind of bland, so on and so forth. It'll be interesting to see how they get him involved in this offense this year. But they brought in a lot of young minds this year to the coaching staff that I think are going to add wrinkles to this offense. And I think Toney's going to be a nice piece. Man, thank you very much. Great pick. Our wide receiver group last year was the only group on our team that didn't have not one bright spot last year. Danny Dimes has a chance to be MVP this year. Yeah, I'm not gonna go that far. I don't want to set false hopes with the MVP talk. But what I'll say is, man, you know, we were concerned with depth on this receiving corps. We should not be concerned with depth now. I mean, if Sterling Shepard goes down, you got Toney that could play the slot. You start Slayton. You also got Ross. We've got a ton of weapons now, guys that could do a ton of different things. We added a lot more speed to this receiving corps. You add Barkley, you get a nice backup running back in Devontae Booker. I still think we may add a running back at some point in this draft. The New York Giants are loaded in terms of depth. Also, of course, Kyle Rudolph at the tight end spot. So we're loaded in terms of depth at the weapon positions right now. DJ Swoop, thank you very much. Nikki was talking about the best edge rusher. Okay. Like I said, I have not even done any research for the 2022 draft. I'm just focused on this draft. That's my mistake then. Okay. John, man, thank you very much. I rewatched all of Eli Manning's touchdowns when he had a trash line. Eli goes through progressions quick, in and out. DJ looks lost and held the ball too long. We definitely should go hog in round 2. Too many weapons to not keep him upright. I agree with you. I think that's where we should go. Unless, like I said, I'm not going to kill them. If there's if they love Azeez Ojulari, if they love J.O.K. and he's there, I'm not going to kill them for that. Then I'd say it is a must that we need to go offensive line in the third. But I'm with you. My preference is going offensive line with this first pick. I would not even be upset if we took 2 offensive linemen today. I wouldn't be upset if we took a center and a tackle, a guard and a tackle. I would not be upset at all. Nick, man, thank you very much. Says, sup, Dana? We got to get that vid as an intro. Yes. Oh, you know what? Hold on. In case you guys haven't seen it, I'm gonna get it up right now, actually. And I'll share it with everybody in the chat. Nick went to the tailgate party yesterday of license plate guy, and he was kind enough to get Darnay Holmes, if I could find it. I'm so bad with Instagram because I'm never on it. He was kind enough to get Darnay Holmes to say this. Hold on, let me. I don't know if I get the. Where's the? Oh, there's the volume button. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me share the screen real quick. And yes, I do need to put that as my my intro pretty soon. Hold on. Where's the
stand up, sports friends? Stand up, sports friends. Stand up, sports friends.
So there you go. Sports friends. There you go. There's Darnay Holmes yesterday saying, stand up. He should have said New York Giants. It's okay. I forgive him. He said sports fans. Thank you, Nick. And JT Carroll, man, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Toney and Saquon, there's going to be an ankle collection in Met. Dude, when you watch Kadarius Toney. What's going on, Kush, man? Thanks for popping in the stream. When you watch Kadarius Toney's highlights, here's another thing I want you guys to, because maybe not everybody looked over this guy. Look at this route. This is a route I showed people in my Discord actually the night. I think it was the night before the draft. And look at this route that this guy runs here. Let me share this as well from Twitter. It's ridiculous. Hold on. Let me share the screen real quick. Look at this route. It gets me excited. Look at this route here. He's in the slot. Look at this. This is like a basketball move, a little spin move. Look at this separation he creates. Like, that's the type of receiver we're adding to this core. We don't have a receiver like that. Like, he's got that shiftiness, like that quick twitch. And we talk about needing guys that can get open quick. That's the type of things that Kadarius Toney is going to bring to this New York Giants team. Look at that. That is nasty. That is mean. I like it. I like it. I like it. JD Carroll says Toney and Saquon. There's gonna be ankle. There's gonna be ankles broken. That's right, man. And Taco Man, thank you very much. I appreciate it. No Parsons, but I'm still ecstatic with the trade and pick. Yeah, I think it was a good trade. I think he's a nice piece. What's up there, PJ, man? Thanks for popping in the stream. And Simon, man, thank you very much. Judge said that Toney runs like a running back. He does. When you watch his highlights, the guy in the open field runs like a running back. He's a nice player, man. He's a nice player. He's got like those basketball moves. I don't know what that is. It's definitely unique. It's definitely unique, man. Jordan, man, thank you very much. Gettleman time now. He knows good value later in the round. You're absolutely right. Gettleman historically has done very good with late round value in the draft. This is where he shined in the past. So let's get it done. Frank, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, just got here. Who are you wanting at 42? I want them to take risk with Dickerson since the highest upside, but would be fine with any lineman with the pick. Yeah, like there's like 9 names I'd be fine with, but yes, my first preference is offensive line, whether that's Dickerson, whether that's Wyatt Davis, but a lot of people feel like he could slip a little bit. Creed Humphrey, Sam Cosmi, I'd be good with any one of those guys. Azeez Ojulari, I'd be okay with. JOK, I'd be okay with. Tevin Jenkins, I don't know if I mentioned him. I would love him. I don't think he'll be there. Yeah, I think that's what you're looking at right now. So Joseph Asai. So I think that's what you're looking at right now, Frank. I'd be happy with any one of those guys, but I prefer the line. Joe, man, thank you very much. I appreciate it. KT will share reps with Saquon Barkley at running back. Hope he's a fun utility player. Stays healthy. Now let's get a pass rush for an offensive lineman. Edge, we need to bother the quarterbacks. We're going edge, I think, with one of these 2 picks for sure. Judge went to too many pro days of edge rushers. I think the New York Giants showed too much interest there. There was a lot of smoke that we'd be interested in the edge. I think we're going edge with one of these 2 picks today. T-Man, thank you very much. If Chicago's round one pick is 1 to 10 and DJ's check, we could trade it down. That's another thing I didn't talk about. Great point. And where does Judge come from? You know, and I've said that this whole offseason when people said, oh, Gettleman never trades down, but Belichick does. That's where Judge comes from. Belichick always trades down. So that's another good point. You may trade down and get more draft capital. That's what the Patriots did for years. They stockpiled picks. So that's a very good point as well. Let's see. And Robert, man, thank you very much. I think this may be the best thing in a long time. Picks and Tricky Toney. I like that nickname. Tricky Toney. That's pretty good. Tricky Toney. I like it, Robert. Tyler says, what if we take Creed Dickerson in round 2 and then double up and take Wyatt Davis / Trey Smith in round 3? I just said that earlier, Tyler. I'd be okay with that. You know, I know it's not sexy for some people. I know people don't like drafted fatties. If they took 2 offensive linemen today, I would not be upset at all. At all. The more you get, the more talent that you add to that unit, the more depth you provide on the offensive line, I'm good with it. So if they do that, I'd be happy. I think they're going to go with edge with one of them, though. Kevin, man, thank you very much. Burleson and Judge's kids both go to the same private school. I remember hearing that. He talked about that, actually, when he was at a basketball game with Joe Judge. When they were, and I think they were talking about Daniel Jones. They talk shop all the time. Nate even recommended Galladay during. That's right. That's when I heard it. That's a good point there, and that's why he's probably pro Giants. Keith, man, thank you very much. He says, Tana, I fear that we are falling into plug-and-play pieces that aren't necessarily as talented to handle better player teams. What are you talking about with Toney? I don't know, man. I will. I like the pick. I don't, again, yeah, you could definitely argue we should have went somewhere else. But you listened to my video yesterday. Some of the guys I wanted are still there. I wanted JOK potentially. I wanted Tevin Jenkins. I did think we were going to take Kwity Paye. I probably would have preferred Kwity Paye there, if I'm being completely honest. But, I like what we did yesterday. I think trading down is the smart thing. Like I said, it's what the Patriots did for years. They stockpiled picks. And you can't just think about this year. You're thinking about building this team long term. You think about next year's team, we're going to be crushed in terms of the salary cap. We backloaded all the salaries. Now you'll be able to add 2 high-impact players in the first round of next year's draft. And you can potentially trade that again, get more assets. I like what the Giants did yesterday. I do. I like what they did. DJ Swift, thank you very much. Don't sleep on Spencer Rattler, Oklahoma next year. I'm thinking I hope we're not, man. I would love to have Daniel Jones be able to continue to fill out the rest of this roster. JT, man, thank you very much. We got to get JOK our next Tuck. See, JOK to me is not like Tuck. I know they both went to Notre Dame, but to me, he's more of a coverage guy. He's not really an edge rusher, but he's a guy that you can move around on the defense. And I don't think he'll be there. I think I heard rumors that the Jets are interested in him. If JOK is there and we take him, that would be a really fun piece for this defense. Kadarius' favorite player to watch is Alvin Kamara. Yeah, I think I've heard a lot of people compare him to Alvin Kamara. Maybe that's because he said things like that. I don't know. But I could see it a little bit in the open field. Jai, man, thank you very much. I've been watching Kayvon Tibbs since high school. He's a beast, and he's so humble. He just goes to work. He's at Oregon. Very excited for 21 and 22. Oh, all right, Jai. I'm really excited for the Knicks in 2 days. I know that. You're always in my Knicks streams, and we'll see. We'll see what we end up doing next year. But this year coming up, I'm excited for the regular season before I even start thinking about the 2022 draft. I think the Giants are going to be good next year. Mike, thank you very much. Do you think we take Tamorrion Terry in the 5th round? I would prefer not. I mean, maybe we take 2 wide receivers. I'd prefer not. I think we need to fill in other holes on this team at this point. I mean, we literally signed 2 wide receivers. We drafted 1 in the 1st. Have you had enough? Right now, Ross is our 5th wide receiver. I mean, let's go somewhere else. MY Giants 26, man. Thank you very much. Our new Giant is a rapper. Yeah, I know he is. People were telling me that in my Discord, actually, that he's a rapper. I didn't listen to him. Nikki, man, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Tony's nickname will be TNT, Moore, and Marshall. What are you talking about today? Well, I don't want to take another wide receiver. You want to take Rondell Moore and Marshall today? No. No, I don't. Jordan, man, thank you very much. How would you feel about Walker Little? 3rd round, I'd be okay with it. He was actually a very highly thought. He was a 1st-round prospect, and then he had some injuries out of Stanford. I'd be okay with it in the 3rd round, not in the 2nd. 3rd round, I'd be okay with it, Jordan. And I think he'll probably be there. I'd be okay with it. He's got upside. But let's see. Keith, man, thank you very much. What do you think about my guy, Quincy Roche? I like him. I've actually talked about him a lot. 3rd round, pretty good. 4th round, I would love him. I think he's probably going to go in the 3rd, though. He had a really good pro day. He actually had better numbers in his pro day than Greg Rousseau did, who won in the 1st round. Had a good year last year for Miami. Kind of took Rousseau's role there after playing over at Temple. He fits our scheme. I like him. Yeah, I've talked about him in the 3-4 round area. Eric, man, thank you very much. You think Shep or Slayton going to be the 3rd on the depth chart? I think Slayton is going to be 4th. I got killed by people on Twitter when I said that a week ago. Not most people, but some people. It's just the truth. I know people love Slayton, but I think I said something along the lines of Slayton's announcing the pick day 2, and he may be announcing the guy that's going to replace him in the starting lineup. If Kadarius Toney starts, I think Slayton goes to the bench. You're not paying Sterling Shepard $10 million to sit. The guy's still a good player. Long term, he's not going to be here, but I think Slayton would probably be the wide receiver 4 if Kadarius Toney is inserted into the starting lineup. But I still think Slayton would get reps. I just don't think he'd be in the top 3. DJ, man, thank you very much. Can we trade 2 firsts for Aaron Rodgers? No. No, silly to talk about. We're not doing it. Gettleman talked about it yesterday. We're not doing it. Ignacio, man, thank you very much. Just imagine week 17 to win the division. Wildcats, Saquon, and Toney in the backfield. Saquon takes the snap, hand off to Toney, pass to Kenny G, touchdown. I think we're going to use the Wildcat next year. I think you're going to see Toney in the Wildcat in certain plays. They're going to try to get creative with Toney. They're going to try to get him the ball out in open space in unpredictable situations. Octave says, I think by the end of the year, Toney will be our number 2 receiver behind. I agree with that. I agree with that. By the end of the year, I think I agree with you on that. Mike, man, thank you very much. Hey, you like hogs. I love weapons. I know you do. I think we need hogs now, though. I think we need hogs. And we got time, man. Thank you very much. Like the trade and understand injuries and salary. But the second we got Toney, I knew it was the beginning of the end of my favorite receiver, Shepard. Yeah, I mean, I saw the writing on the wall with Shepard before this draft started. I had a feeling we were going to take a receiver early, whether it be in the first or the second. Shepard's got injury problems. Shepard makes a lot of money. They'd save money on the 2022 cap where they're going to be strapped. He's not a Gettleman guy. I think he's one of two guys that were drafted by Reese still on the roster, Ingram and Shepard, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't think he'll be here after this year. Tyler, man, thank you very much. Yeah, the problem is I don't think they'll use both picks on O-line, but I think they should. I don't think they will either. Again, I wouldn't be upset if they did. I don't think they will either. I think it'll be an edge, and I think it'll be a lineman if I had to guess, or a coverage guy like JOK or Jabril Cox if he ever fell to the third, someone like that. But yeah, I don't think they'll take two linemen. They may take two linemen in this draft, especially after they got an extra pick. They got a 5th round pick now. So now we have a pick in every round but the 7th, but we have 2 6. So we have 7 picks now. They may take an offensive lineman in like the 4th. I could see that. I don't think they'll take 2 today, though. DJ, Matt, thank you very much. This season could go either way. We good in 21 and 2022. We're definitely building the right way, and I like where we're headed right now. Let's see what we got here. And thank you, Dependable Lion. Says Aaron Rodgers like a pipe dream that would take us far beyond DJ Ken, but I like 100% believe we won't get him. Aaron would probably take us to the Super Bowl, but no, it's not happening. So it's silly to think about. It's not going to happen. It would cost way too much. And Aaron Rodgers is my favorite quarterback in the league. I say it all the time. I love Aaron Rodgers. It's not going to happen. He's not coming here. Giants aren't going to trade for him. They believe in Daniel Jones. They're not going to give up that kind of draft capital to bring him in here for a 2 or 3 year experiment. It's not going to happen. He's going to go somewhere, but it won't be the Giants. Let's see. And Asia, thank you so much for the $3 super sticker. Mwah. There you go. What's going on, Asia? Hope you're doing well. King says we are going to do 4 wide receiver sets. We will. Obviously not every play, but yeah, we're going to have 4 wide receiver sets. We will get these guys on the field, but I do think Slayton is probably going to be 4th in the pecking order to start the year, but we'll see. Yeah, I like Jabril Cox. I've actually talked about him a lot. I had him in one of my mocks. I think I had him going in the 3rd. I think in my 2nd Gettleman project, I think I had him going in the 3rd. I like Jabril Cox. I think he fits the defense very well. So yes. Nicky, man, thank you very much. He says, got a weird feeling we take Michael Carter round 3. I could see it. If those reports are true, I could see it. I don't want to. I don't want to take a running back today. I could see it. I'm not hoping for it, but I could see it. Big Chungus, man, thank you very much. Looking forward to the later rounds. Gettleman can draft later rounds. Pretty underrated. Listen, that's where Super Bowls are won and lost at the end of the day. Any competent GM could draft well in the 1st round. It's between rounds 4 and 7 where you win your Super Bowls. Keith, man, thank you very much. Let's go Notre Dame offensive lineman. Their lineage is unmatched. You're right about that. Offensive linemen from Notre Dame are really good historically. Liam Eichenberg could be an option today in probably the 3rd round. He's out of Notre Dame. Maybe we elect to go there. There's a couple of offensive linemen from the Fighting Irish though that we could potentially draft, but he'd probably be the top guy. Let's see. And what's going on? I want to say hello to everybody in the chat, as many people as I can, by the way. Ordinary Pete in the chat, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jay Diamond, Evan. Let me say hello to everybody in here. Zany, thank you for being here. Mark Harris, Lloyd, Jamie, thank you so much for being here. Logics, Logic, NFL DNA, Nick DeWick, Dependable Lion, Eshawn, Alan Greenwood, Deception, Joe Black, Doodle, Bills. Thank you guys so much for being here. Ashton, man, thank you guys. Thank you to everybody for being here. And hopefully you guys are getting ready. Big Daddy in the house, Scotty H in the house, Jared Mercado in the house, Kansas in the house, Angelo in the house, New York Giants are in the house. Frankie G, Nader, thank you guys. Frankie G, David AV, Pete in the house, Felipe in the house, Sugar Tots. It's not tits, it's tots. In the house, Bradley in the house, Abdullah, what's going on? Thank you to everybody for being here. I appreciate it. Kaylin in here as well. Thank you guys so much. And I think we got Jeremiah, big Eagles fan, great supporter of all the channels. Glad to see him in here. Let me get to that real quick. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. A lot of highs in the chat. So thank you guys so much, man. Yeah, we got Keith. Let's get to Jeremiah. He says, what up, my bro? Damn, I hate that y'all got Toney. Hopefully y'all don't get Cox. Hey, man, I think you guys got a good wide receiver your own right, obviously. So you should be pretty happy there. I think all the NFC's teams last night, outside of maybe Washington. I'm not in love with the guy that they took, but I think we were all pretty happy with what ultimately happened. Most Giant fans, I think, are happy. We traded down. We got pretty good value, and we got a nice weapon with Toney. Let's see what we do day 2, day 3. You guys, of course, traded up. You got your guy with Devontae Smith. I'm sure you're happy about that, as are probably most Eagle fans. I like Jabril Cox. I do. I like Jabril Cox a lot. I'd be happy if we took him in the 3rd. Even the 2nd, I'd be good with it. But if we could get him in the 3rd, I'd be ecstatic. Tay, man, thank you very much. We were taking Ojulari, Basham, or Rumph in the 2nd. I hope not Rumph. Ojulari, I would like. Basham, I would like. I like Rumph, but I think the 2nd's a little early. But I could see us definitely taking an edge today for sure with that first pick today at 42 for sure. Let's see. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody because everybody said hi. Juicy White Man, thank you very much. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anybody on the phone. I think we're good. Yeah. That trade last night was phenomenal. Dave Gettleman earned a contract extension. I can't wait to see who we get today. Oh, my God, I'm so pumped compared to last year. Listen, man, Dave Gettleman haters. We'll see at the end of the year. The proof's in the pudding. Juicy, I got a feeling at the end of the year, Dave Gettleman's going to get the last laugh. Mark, man, thank you very much. How much pressure on Dr. Garrett with these weapons? Garrett, I think it's completely possible, regardless of how the offense performs this year, that Garrett's out at the end of the year. If we do great, maybe he gets a head coaching job. If he does poorly, I think he gets relieved of duty. So I think this might be his last year with the New York Giants. And I think the Giants saw the writing on the wall. I think that's why they brought a lot of coaches on the staff, because they want familiarity for Daniel Jones going into next year. But I think this is more than likely going to be Garrett's last year as the OC, maybe one more year after this. DJ Spoon, man, thank you very much. Will the Bears suck? Dalton is starting. Listen, let's go over the Bears schedule again. You guys tell me how you think they're going to do. All right, these are their home games. We don't know the order yet. Arizona Cardinals, we'll say a 50-50 game there. Baltimore Ravens, they should lose. That's one loss. Bengals, I'll give them the win, but I think the Bengals are going to be better this year. I think we'll beat them. They play the 49ers. They're going to be much better this year. They had a ton of injuries. They play the Lions. They should win that. They should win both Lions games. Green Bay, even if Rodgers leaves, I still think they're better. But if Rodgers stays, which he probably won't, hopefully Rodgers stays. The Vikings, I think, are going to be much better this year. Their away schedule, the Cleveland Browns, who are really good, the Rams, the Steelers, the Seahawks on the road with fans in the stands, the Bucks, and then their 3 divisional teams. I mean, I think 7 wins tops for the Bears next year. Jeremiah, thank you very much. I'm happy for us, just not the rest of the division. Yeah, well, I'm with you on that. I'm not happy that the Eagles got who they got either. So I'm with you on that. I think we had a good day yesterday in the division. Washington, like I said, it was a little questionable. Freelance, man, thank you very much. I have a feeling we are going to see Lemieux at center, Gates at guard this season. It's possible if they feel that's the better way to go. I thought that Gates did a decent job at the center spot, but if they feel like Lemieux could be better, I don't know, maybe. I would like continuity, though, ideally, if we don't draft the center. I think I'd like to keep Gates at the center spot. Nikki, man, thank you very much. Chris, I got Zaven Collins and the Davis. Did you? Yeah, I haven't even looked at the competition. I'm going to be too busy over the next 3 days. I know somebody won. After the draft is complete, I'll say who got the winner, and I'll get the email address and everything else. I haven't even had an opportunity to look at it. So I will definitely look at that after the draft, and that guy's going to get assigned Eli Manning football. But, yeah, I was a little surprised with both those picks, to be honest with you, that the Cardinals took Zaven Collins after they took – I don't know. I didn't love the fit there. I do like the player a lot. And Davis, I don't know. But, yeah, good job hitting the picks, man. T says, how many picks we have left? We have 6. We've got a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth, and 2 sixths. So, yeah, we got 6. And thank you, T-Man. Thank you very much. And one of them, of course, is one of the picks that we picked up yesterday. And Asia, thank you very much. Stand up, my sexy Tana. I will watch the draft and watch my Yankees and your Mets for you. Maybe I watch your Knicks too. This is how much I adore you. I don't do this to Mets fans often, but you're a difference, Chris. I appreciate that, Asia. Hopefully the Knicks get us some more wins, Asia. I know you're a Nets fan. Juicy, man. Thank you very much. And thank you, Asia. The Bears are easily a 5-win team. I think they're between 4 and 7, but I don't see them with maybe 8 if everything breaks right. At best, I think they're picking in the middle of the draft next year. DJ, thank you very much. Top 5 pick, the Bears pick. I think it could be. It's tough to say going into the year, but you got to figure if they're starting a rookie quarterback, that in itself, he's going to struggle. All rookie quarterbacks do. I mean, you think about rookie quarterbacks. Most of them don't have good records, right? I think Mayfield might have went 7-9 or 8-8 maybe his rookie year. I think he went 8-8. Josh Allen as a starter, I know, went 5-6 his rookie year. Darnold struggled his rookie year. Daniel Jones, of course, struggled his rookie year. I think Kyler Murray was like 6-10. Obviously, Herbert last year didn't have a good record. So rookie quarterbacks traditionally struggle in their first year. It's very rare that a rookie quarterback makes the playoffs. And then if people want to say, well, Dalton's going to be the quarterback, you're using that as an argument? Like Dalton's a good quarterback? So I think the Bears will struggle. I think 8 wins at best. And Kingman, thank you very much. The only team that I see giving any competition, correct me if I'm wrong, but Dallas. I feel like competition other than that, I feel we can win this. I think Washington as well. I think Washington has a very good defense, and I think they did improve their offense. I think Washington and Dallas are definitely our prime competition going into the year. Mike, man, thank you very much. He says, NFL update tweet. All right, let me take a quick look. What did NFL update have to say? NFL update just tweeted out. Oh, that's a fake NFL update. Here it is. In case there was any doubt, the Giants were planning on taking Bama wide receiver Devontae Smith at 11 had Philly not jumped them. Albert Breer, once that happened, the Giants made the trade with Chicago, Minnesota likely for Slater, and New Orleans also called on trading with the New York Giants. See, to me, and I think they were probably going to take Devontae Smith, but to me, I think it had as much to do with Justin Fields being there as Devontae Smith not being there. Because obviously Fields dropping to 11 gave teams an incentive to trade up. Kevin, man, thank you very much. Overall, great coverage last night. ESPN was on mute and had you guys connected to Bluetooth. Keep crushing it, man. I really appreciate that. I'm looking forward to covering it tonight. I personally think day 2 is obviously the anticipation is better for day 1 because you got the highlight players and it sets you up for the rest of your draft. I get even more excited sometimes for day 2 because I don't know. You get 2 players. I feel like I don't know. I think I like day 2 better than day 1. So I'm really looking forward to today. I'm looking forward to seeing who the New York Giants ultimately end up picking. Day 3, it's a little bit of a drag, but I still love it to see what players that they may add. But I think day 2 is actually my favorite of the 3 days. Evan, man, thank you very much. What do you think the Giants' ceiling is this year? Ceiling? Everything breaks right, 12 wins. I'm not picking that, but you asked for the ceiling. 12 wins. X-Man, thank you very much. Surprising pick, but he is the 3rd best wide receiver in the draft. The Giants got a great return in picks. What happened today on day 2, but I give Giants a B on day 1. I think that's fair. And I think it could end up being an A, depending on what they end up getting for that trade. Like, say that ends up being the 1st overall pick next year. All of a sudden, yesterday becomes an A. So we have to see how the Bears do next year. But I think it's fair to come out yesterday thinking that they had a B. I think that's fair. Vodka says we will see more trades today. I could see that. Bad Dog Sports, say his name. Bad Dog Sports. There's so many people in here. I didn't see him. But of course, Bad Dog's going to be on the stream tonight. I'll have his link in the description below. Tana, did you see Jaylano's reaction to being drafted? I did not. But I did think, I'm not surprised that he went before Devontae Smith. I said that all along. To me, Jalen Waddle was just a much more talented prospect. I think Jalen Waddle's going to be dynamite in the pros. I would have loved if the New York Giants got him. It's Creed time. There's Bad Dog. It's Creed time. And James, man, thank you very much. Stand up. New member. Welcome to the squad, my man. And by the way, you know what? You guys know what I want today. Age, thank you very much. Josh is pumped about Fields. I don't know about Sean. Well, he got a new quarterback. You should be pumped. The Bears never they've never had a franchise quarterback, if we're being honest. So he should be pumped. He was a guy that many felt was the number 2 overall pick like 3 months ago. So I'm sure Bears fans were excited about that. And DJ Swift, thank you very much. More excited in the 22 to Well, yeah, next year is definitely going to be exciting. Can you imagine the Gettleman project I'm going to be able to do next year? That's going to be fun. Jared, man, thank you very much. Bateman is going to be Justin Jefferson of this draft. I could see it. A lot of people loved him going in. German, man, thank you very much. What's up, my man? Hype for the 2nd and 3rd round. Great coverage last night. Toney will be great. What do you think about Dickerson? What time you start? We're going to start at 6:30. I'm going to end this probably at I don't know. What time did I start? I started at 2, right? Or 1:50. I'll probably go to about 4:15, 4:30, probably 4:30. And then I'm going to be live again at 6:30 with Bad Dog. And we're going to go till the end, which is going to be probably close to midnight. So it'll be another long day today, but it's fun with you guys. So I'm looking forward to it. The new GM not called Gettleman Project. Alex thinks we're going to lose Gettleman next year. It's possible. He could retire. I don't think he's going to get fired, but we'll see. I think the Giants are going to have a good year this year. So we'll see. We'll see, Alex. But yeah, I would rename it to whatever the new GM is. Giants versus Eagles, week 1. Book it. We'll see. I would love that. Adil says we drafted a rapper. Yeah, I heard that I haven't gotten a chance to look at his listen rather to his music, but I heard that he was a rapper. What green? Green is my favorite color. But when it comes to football, blue. Surratt in the third round. The Dave Gettleman hate is absurd today. Vinny, you didn't know this? Dave Gettleman could draft the 4 best players in the draft in rounds 1 to 4, and people would still find a way to hate him. You didn't know this? You didn't know this? You're surprised? You're surprised that people are giving Dave Gettleman hate? DJ, man, thank you very much. Could you imagine a new GM with 2 firsts? I'd like to imagine our current GM with 2 firsts. So, yeah. And what's going on there, Roland, man? Thanks for popping in. Chris, who was your pick today? If I had to pick right now, I would go. I'm going to go with Azeez Ojulari. I have a feeling he's going to drop, and I do think he fits the scheme. He's got ties to members of our coaching staff. I'm going to guess that the 42 pick is going to be Azeez Ojulari. And if it is, what will be very funny if that is the case, and we'll see. He might very well be off the board. But what will be funny if that is the case, if we do draft Azeez Ojulari. My last mock draft that I did, the Gettleman Project, I wanted to simulate a situation where the New York Giants traded down and took an edge rusher. We took Azeez Ojulari, I think at 20, trading down with the Bears, or maybe it was 50. I can't remember. But I wanted to simulate where I took an edge rusher. We took Azeez Ojulari in the first, and we took Kadarius Toney in the second. So if we took Azeez Ojulari today, it would just be switching them, and we got the first 2 picks. So that'd be interesting. I think in the third round, I took the tackle out of what was his name? I forgot his name off the top of my head. I'll give it to you guys before the draft today. But he's the 6'9" tackle. I don't know why I'm forgetting his name off the top of my head. He went to a small school. I'm sure somebody will say it in the chat. T-Man, thank you very much. I hope Toney doesn't turn into Rager. Yeah, I mean, I think we all hope that he doesn't turn into Rager. And Tay, man, thank you very much. It's crazy how the top 3 wide receivers reunited with their college quarterbacks: Chase Burrow, Waddle, Tua, Smith. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even. Yeah, there you go. Spencer Brown. That was it. Spencer Brown. That was my that was my third round pick. So that'd be funny. Imagine if I hit on all 3. That'd be funny. DJ Smooth that says, I think we are a quarterback away regardless, Chris. So I think we're going to go quarterback next year. You know how I feel, though. We'll see. Asia says, I keep hearing Devontae Smith wasn't thrilled about the Eagles drafting him. I think he wanted to be a Giant. Well, I wouldn't be thrilled if Jalen Hurts was going to be my quarterback either. But to go back to your point, DJ Smooth, I think at a bare minimum, what they did this offseason is what we talked about all along. Worst case scenario, you set your future quarterback up very nicely, and that's what they did. So if Jones doesn't work out, the next quarterback is going to have a ton of weapons. Zeke, man, thank you very much. I freaking love the first round. Toney is a beast. Humphrey, Azeez, Davis, JOK, let's go Giants. Yeah, I think it's, I don't know why. I'm just feeling Azeez, man. I'm just feeling Azeez to the Giants today. But I could be wrong. Harrison, man, thank you very much. I really like how there's not but he, like I said, he could easily be picked before we're on the clock. Harris, and he could drop more further down than I expect because there were some injury concerns leading up into the draft. So that could play in a factor. Harris says, I really like how there's not a ton of pressure on Toney because we already have 3 wide receivers. He can really be a wild card. Plus, we need depth because of wide receiver injuries. I think he's going to start, though, Harrison. But you're right. There's not a ton of there's really not. There's not a lot of pressure there for him going into the year. But I do think he's going to be – I think he's going to get starters reps. But I do think Slayton will still play a decent amount. Justin, man, thank you very much. Minnesota dropped. I just said that. I said that at the top of the stream. Think about this, guys. I'll say it again. Minnesota dropped from 14 to 23. We dropped from 11 to 20. So it's the same amount of spots. Obviously, we're worth a little more because we're picking 3 spots earlier, but pretty comparable. We both dropped 9 spots. Minnesota got an early third and a late third and a swap. We got a swap, a 5th this year, a 4th next year, and a 1st. I think our package is much better. Anytime you can get an early 1st, it much better package that we got. But thank you very much, Justin, man. I appreciate it. And Alphabet, he says, Gettleman was integral to putting together the last 3 Super Bowl teams. He was the director of pro player personnel from 1999 through 2011 when he left. That's when our talent level dropped. Yeah, well, people don't want to realize that. He had a lot to do with the building of those teams as well. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say. You're right. He was a big part of that. And like you said, I don't think it was, a coincidence that when he left, we started drafting very poorly. MY Giants 26, man, thank you very much. Our weapons really went from worst to first. I don't know if I'll go first, but we've definitely got above average weapons. That's for damn sure. What's up there, Thomas Price, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. What's up, Steven? He says, hey, Chris, just got back from school. What is your overall grade from yesterday? I'd say a B. B. I think it's a B that could become an A, depending on what pick we get from the Chicago Bears next year. But I'll go B. I'll try to be as fair as I can. I'll give him a B yesterday. How much leash does Garrett get now? I think he's got a year. I think this offense has to be much improved. I think he gets a year. And we'll see. I think this is last year with the Giants. Because if he does great, I think he gets a head coaching job, like I said. I think this is last year with the Giants. Oh, you didn't mean first in the NFL. You meant first in the division, maybe. DJ, man, thank you very much. What makes you confident in DJ? I don't even want to say I'm super confident in him yet. I think he could get the job done. I think the tools are there, and now we brought the pieces to make him be a successful quarterback. I'm confident if this team can block. I want to continue to reiterate that, which we don't know will be the case. If this team could block at least adequately with the better weapons on this team, I'm confident that Daniel Jones has the pieces provided to him now to get the job done. And now we're going to find out when he does have the pieces, if he can. Thank you very much, Main Focus. I appreciate it. He's a rapper. So what? Dude can bull. Look at Damian Lillard at Portland. People these days, I don't care if he's who cares? That's a hobby of his. Who cares if he's a rapper? I could care less. I don't care. I could care less if he's a rapper. Chris, honestly, you can get the biggest channel. I appreciate it, Akeem, man. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. And Ian, man, thank you very much. Some mocks have us taking defensive end Carlos Basham Jr. at 42 and Aaron Banks to guard. Yeah, Basham Jr. is a guy on my list. I don't think I had Banks, but he was a guy I was about to put on my list. He's definitely a 3rd-round possibility. Also, Basham's an edge rusher, I think, out of Wake Forest. I've seen him mocked to us in a few mocks. I could see it. Depends on how they evaluate these prospects, but I definitely think he's one of the 3 or 4 most likely edges we could take today if we decide to go edge. I haven't looked a ton into him, but I have heard good things. I have not looked a ton into him, if I'm being honest, but I do think he's a realistic possibility. And let's see. Saraceno, what's up, my man? Oh, yeah, and we now have Slayton, Shep, Galladay, Rudolph, Ingram, Tony, Saquon. This team, yeah, man. We got weapons all over. Chris had a liquid breakfast. Yeah, I did. Somebody said something about Gettleman I wanted to read. Logic says, Chris, I don't hate Gettleman. I think he's 50-50, and the Giants need O-line more than wide receiver. No more decent players is what I want. Great players are needed. Well, we'll see. We'll see what they end up doing today. Let's give them a chance. Let's see who they draft. Let's see how the players perform. I think Sam Cosmi is a possibility. A couple of people brought up Cosmi today, James. Again, I'll go over my list for anybody that's popping in. J.O.K., Azeez Ojulari, Tevin Jenkins, Asante Samuel Jr., Christian Barmore, Joseph Asai, Wyatt Davis, Carlos Basham, Jalen Mayfield, Creed Humphrey, Sam Cosmi, Landon Dickerson, Nick Bolton, Jabril Cox, Liam Eichenberg, Deontay Brown, Milton Williams, Trey Smith, Ben Cleveland, Kendrick Green. They end up with any one of those 2 players today with their 2 picks, I'll be happy. So that's my 20-man list. There's a couple of players I left off, like I've said throughout the stream, but overall, those are the players I'm looking at today, and hopefully they end up with some of them. We'll see what they end up taking. I agree, Saraceno. Greg Rousseau's off the board. I don't know if somebody said Greg Rousseau got drafted last night, Luke. He got drafted by the, I think the Bucks. He's off the board. I know that. Somebody took him. The Bills, actually. I think the Bills took him, which is ironic because a guy that I frequently compared him to in terms of the way that he dropped was A.J. Epinesa, who the Bills drafted last year also late in the first round. DJ Smooth, man, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Could you imagine Herbert with these weapons if he came out in 19 or Dave Gettleman waited in 20? Okay. Are we going to live in the past forever? Daniel Jones is our quarterback, and he's probably going to be our quarterback next year. Let's hope he progresses and gets better. Let's see what we can do with these weapons. Yeah, that's right. The Bucks took Tryon, who I loved. As a Jets fan, I would love Aaron Robinson, Elijah Moore. I like Elijah Moore. He's a good safety. I haven't brought him up, Leo Murig. I think that's how it's pronounced. He was supposed to go in the first round, but we don't need a safety, so I haven't brought him up. Owusu, Tevin Jenkins to me I would love Tevin Jenkins with the Giants today. So yeah, it's a pretty good list for you guys. I like more for you guys. Creed Humphrey will make our O-line awesome. Thomas, Parrott, and Humphrey. We'll see. Let's see. Nation says, you and Bengal are the Jordan and LeBron of NFL YouTubers. Glad to have the GOATs both being Giants fans. Juggernauts. Would be horrible if it was any other way. I appreciate that, Nation, man. Been with me forever, man. Appreciate it. I didn't even get a chance to see how other people felt about the pick, to be honest with you. I literally went to bed last night, woke up, and I'm live again. Obviously, I did some things this morning, but I didn't really look at how anybody felt about this pick other than the mainstream media. So hopefully he liked the pick. I didn't say it was a safety. I was talking about the other player out on his list, Murig, or however you pronounce it. He's a safety. Elijah Moore's a slot wide receiver. I was talking about Murig. He's a safety. And the Imp, man, thank you so much, man, for the $2 donation. I appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, I was talking about Murig or whatever. He had Murig on his list, too. I said, yeah, I guess I didn't separate it. He wants Creed Humphrey. Morig? Is it Morig? Okay. Like I said, I did no research on that guy because I know we're not taking a safety. But I thought a lot of people had him mocked to the Jaguars, I think, in the first round. I did not. No, I didn't. I heard Gettleman. I heard Gettleman's press conference. I did not hear Judge's. I think I saw Judge's quotes, but I didn't hear his actual press conference. DJ Smooth, thank you very much. Daniel Jones sucks. Come on, he's not Mahomes. So is that the point we've come to now where if somebody's not Mahomes, they suck? If that's the way you feel, DJ Smooth, you're going to think the Giants quarterback sucks for the rest of your life. The greatest quarterback in Giants history isn't Pat Mahomes. So if that's the way you feel, if that's the way you judge your quarterbacks, you're going to think the Giants quarterback sucks for the rest of your life. So get used to it. You're going to be a fan that wants a new quarterback every 2 years. If that is the bar you're setting, you're going to want a new quarterback every 2 years. If that's the bar you're setting. I think Sam Cosmi is a possibility today. We'll see. I think DJ will prove himself. We'll see. Mahomes is a bum. Definitely not the best quarterback ever. I didn't say he's the best quarterback ever. But don't expect your friggin' quarterback to be as talented as Pat Mahomes. And he's definitely not a bum. I watched Toney a ton in college, and he's great. But what makes him more valuable is that Elijah Moore or other slot wide receivers, I would have preferred the edge, but I still like the pick. Yeah, I was the same way. Obviously, you saw my reaction last night. I said, I'll go over the names I said right now. Kwity Paye. That was obviously the number one guy I wanted there. I said Tevin Jenkins, who's available today. I said JOK, I think. I did say Toney. And I said, I don't remember who else. I said a couple of names, though. Let's see. I do like Toney. Damn it. Thank you very much. Do you think Saban's scouting and attempted recruiting of Toney helped influence their decision to draft him. Well, Dan, the other thing that I saw was Pruitt. Pruitt recruited him. I think he had ties to Pruitt in some way, shape, or form, and Pruitt's on the coaching staff. Another interesting tidbit that came out today, and I think I retweeted it. Let me find it for you guys. I want to make sure I get this right. Was let me make sure I get this right. He had a tie to Daniel Jones. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me show this to the chat. This is a pretty cool tidbit, actually, for anybody that did not hear this. This is a pretty cool tidbit. This is coming from Jim Nagy. Cool connection Giants fans should know about. First rounder Kadarius Toney trained with Mobile-based QB Country when he played quarterback in high school, and Daniel Jones spends much of his offseason in Mobile working with personal quarterback coach David Morris. Valuable offseason chemistry. So that was a little interesting tidbit with a little tie there to Daniel Jones that I thought was pretty cool. And Daniel Jones has been obviously working this offseason already with Kenny Golladay a lot. So that was something that I wanted to make note of. Dan, man, thank you very much. Do you think Saban? Oh, I already read that. And Harrison, he says, I'm shocked that the media liked our pick for. Did they? I felt like some of the media killed us, but I haven't even listened to the majority of the mainstream media with the pick. I just always expect the mainstream media to kill our pick, so I wouldn't be surprised by it. But thank you, Harrison. And DJ Smoothie says he's not Baker, Watson, Wilson, Allen. Waste of time. I mean, we don't know yet. I think he could definitely be Baker. Why can't he be Baker Mayfield? Why can't he be Baker Mayfield? I'm not saying he will, but why can't he be? What's up there, Joey Lutz? Yeah, I know he did, Saraceno. You're gonna get people on both sides. You're gonna get some people who pump the pick. You're gonna get some people who love the pick. I literally hope these Giants fans keep hating on Daniel Jones. I'm going to remind you of your words. DJ now has a plethora of weapons. I think DJ will get it done this year, and we'll see. VP, man, thank you very much. I was feeling the trade back at first, but I'm fine with it now. I'm that fan to not like trading back and to just take best available. How do you think the Giants will use Toney? I think they're going to use Toney all over the football field. I think they'll use him in the slot. I think they'll lose. I think a lot of people look at Toney like he's not strictly a slot wide receiver. This guy's 6 feet tall. I think he's you've seen somewhere he's listed at 5'11", somewhere he's 6 foot. He's almost 200 pounds. Like he's 193. I've seen him listed some places 190. But I think he'll be used predominantly in the slot. But I think they'll move him all around. I think they'll use him in the backfield. I think they'll use him in jet sweeps. I think they'll get him out. I think they'll get him out in open space, wide receiver screens, things like that. Anywhere where you could get him out in space to use his speed and his shiftiness, that's what I think they'll do. A lot of underneath routes. I think he's going to be a possession receiver with the ability to break big plays. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how they use him. I think they'll put him in. I think they'll put him in motion a lot as well. And Christian, man, thank you very much. I don't know how people have the energy to be this negative. It is what it is, man. Every fan has their own opinion. I never tell people how to feel about their team as long as they don't disrespect me. Like, fans who want me to be negative, I'm not going to be unless I feel like it's warranted. Obviously, I hated the Daniel Jones pick when we made it. I was negative that night. I didn't hate the pick last night. DJ Smooth, thank you very much. I'm getting hate in the comments for hating DJ. Okay. I mean, listen, if you're going to be outspoken against DJ, that comes with the territory. There's going to be people who are outspoken for him. So that's what's going to come with it. Carlos says Toney is OBJ 2.0 minus the shit. I hope so. If he ever approaches that level, I'd be thrilled. Jason, thank you very much. DJ will go for 5,000 yards, 35 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. He has so many weapons now. We need defense. I hope so. I don't think he'll go for 5,000 yards. I could see him getting 30 touchdowns, though, because people forget it's a 17-game schedule. People also forget he was on pace to have 30 touchdowns in his rookie year. They act like that. Well, that didn't happen. So I agree with the weapons we have. I think 30 touchdowns is definitely a possibility. I don't think he'll throw over 5,000 yards, but I definitely see him going for over 4,000, especially with 17 games. And I think he'll touch 30. I think he'll get 30 touchdowns this year. Sam, man, thank you very much. Great trade for all the people whining about Toney. Check his numbers. First wide receiver since OBJ that could take a slant to the house on the Giants, of course. O-liner Ojolari in round 2. I'm with you on that. That's my exact thoughts. And, yeah, he brings a different element to this wide receiving core. Semantics, man. They are Cymatics. Great move to trade back. That additional first rounder has a good chance to be top 10. No way Tony drops to 42 either. I agree. I that was wishful thinking in my last mock draft where I had him to 42. But again, that's wishful thinking. I don't think he would have gotten to 42. I think he would have went like between 23 and 35. I agree with you on that. Ignacio, man, thank you very much. Tana, tell us your dream picks for the rest of the draft. I have like 5 guys that I'd be thrilled with at this pick today. But, with the first pick. JOK, Barmore, I know people may not want, but I think he's too good to be here. I thought he was worthy of being a top 15 or 20 pick in the first round. I'd be completely fine with that. Of course, the offensive line. Creed Humphrey, I'd be ecstatic with today at number 42. Tevin Jenkins, I think, is probably the best lineman still on the board. So I'd probably go with him. Probably go with him at 42. And at 76, in a dream scenario, I wouldn't mind Jabril Cox. Like, if we went with a lineman at 42 today, I think if he's there, and this is dream, I'm not saying he's going to be there. I think I'd really like Jabril Cox at LSU today at 76. If we got that today, I think I would like that. If we got Tevin Jenkins and Jabril Cox with the 2 picks today, I'd be very happy. But there's so many different combinations I'd be very happy. Azeez Ojulari and Liam Eichenberg, I'd be happy. Eichenberg, Trey Smith, Ben Cleveland, Kendrick Green in the 3rd round. Wyatt Davis if he dropped to the 3rd round. Sam Cosmi. So there's so many different combinations. But I'll go with Tevin Jenkins and Jabril Cox today would probably be my dream. And then after that, I mean, there's a lot of guys I like late in the draft. I'll talk more about that tomorrow because I'm going to have a stream on that. But for today, I think that would be my dream scenario, Ignacio. The later rounds, you're kind of throwing darts at the board anyway. You're going more so for best available player. But we'll talk a lot more about that tomorrow. Dan, man, thank you very much. DJ Smooth, what is your deal with Daniel Jones? He's our quarterback. Get over it. Become a KC fan if you want Mahomes. Mahomes ain't going to be our quarterback. We don't expect Mahomes. Just hope that Daniel Jones improves and becomes a better quarterback. He's our guy, and we're going to see what we got this year. Robert, man, thank you very much. Great time to be a Giants fan. LT era guy. I think we're finally headed down the right path, and it's been a long time coming, and I think we're going to be happy throughout the year. Another guy, I agreed, Alvin. It was a dream scenario. Another guy I would really like is in the 4th round is I like Tyler Shelvin. He's an interior defensive tackle. I would like him. And I'll tell you what, another guy I want to make note of, and again, it's not an immediate need for us, but I would like Milton Williams. He's a guy I've talked a lot about. I would not be upset at all if we took him at 76 today, if we went offensive lineman in with our first pick. Kyle, man, thank you very much. May have mentioned him, but thoughts on Perkins? That's right. He didn't get drafted, did he? He's still available also, isn't he? I think he did not get drafted. Yeah, Ronnie Perkins is the edge out of Oklahoma. Yeah, he did not get drafted. He's another possibility today. I like him. I think he fits what we do. I personally have at least 2 or 3 edge rushers above him going into today. But, yeah, he's a possibility at 42 as well. And Pizzle's in the chat. He says, call me Mr. Viral. All right, Mr. Viral. I don't even know what that means, but what's going on, Mr. Viral? I would love Azeez Ojulari to be a Giant. Yeah, I think he makes sense. If I had to pick who we're going to take today, I'm leaning there if he's not off the board. Oh, is that what it is? He went viral on Barstool today. Oh, that's pretty cool. I'll have to take a look. DJ Smooth, thank you very much. Chris, my bad. I just want a special quarterback. Honestly, my bad. If I keep my voice, my opinion, I don't see that in DJ. Listen, I say it all the time, man. You're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to your opinion. And Tommy B says another guy he fell full bloom love with at the Senior Bowl. I mean, when you watch Kadarius Toney, if you're being honest, Tommy, you don't see the draw to him. I'm not saying that you have to agree with the pick, but you don't see the draw to him. I think he's a nice player. Dylan Moses is possible as well. DeGondre says, hi, Chris. Who you want today? I want Jenkins. I would love Jenkins. I don't think he'll be there. I think Jenkins will be off the board, but if he's there, I would love him. He's a guy that I thought should have won in the first round. And We the People says Toney is what Tavon Austin was supposed to be. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. Hopefully, he's a lot better than Tavon Austin. Austin was, yeah, he was a similar type of player. Hopefully, he's a lot better. But yes, he's that type of player. I hope not, Royal Money. I know you've been on that running back train, and like I said, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. You've been on that running back train for a while. I hope not. I don't want to take a running back today. I think you get good running backs day 3. I hope we do not take a running back today. I think we need to fill in the other holes on this team, more important positions. What are your rankings for the remaining edge rushers? I think Ojulari is up there for me. Osai. Unless I'm forgetting somebody, I think I would go Ojulari, Joseph Osai, and Carlos Basham. I think that'd be my top 3. Unless I'm forgetting somebody. I think that'd be my top 3. Alphabet Man, thank you very much. What do you think was the worst pick of the first round? Let me take a quick look at the first round. And I said it last night. I don't think there was a lot of like crazy reaches yesterday. Okay, I'll go over the picks that I didn't like. In terms of value, you can't argue with the Kyle Pitts pick. I just didn't love it for the Falcons. I feel like they should have drafted a quarterback or drafted Penei Sewell. Jamar Chase, again, I can't argue with the value, but I think they should have drafted Penei Sewell. They have a quarterback that got hurt last year. I like the Detroit pick with Sewell. The Carolina pick, maybe you could argue a slight reach, but J.C. Horn's really good. Patrick Surtain's a good pick for the Broncos. Devontae Smith was good for the Eagles. Fields for the Bears makes sense. Parsons makes sense for the Cowboys. Slater's a really good pick. Vera Tucker's a good pick. Mac Jones, quarterback, they needed it. Zaven Collins to me is the first questionable pick. Leatherwood is probably the worst pick. And I'm not surprised it's the Raiders. They traditionally reach. Leatherwood is probably the first big reach that I see. Zaven Collins I really like, but I don't love it with Arizona. Phillips is fine at 18. Davis, I think, is a bit of a reach for Washington. Toney, we know how we feel. Kwity Paye, I like. Farley, I like. Injury concerns, but decent there at 22. Darisaw, Najee Harris is fine. ETN, a little questionable, but I mean, if you really like a running back there, whatever. Newsome, Bateman. Yeah, I think I would go with Alex Leatherwood. If I had to pick one, I think I would go with Alex Leatherwood. Alex Leatherwood. Alphabet. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anybody here. Simon, thank you very much. I'm glad the Birds got Smith. Parsons to Dallas, not so much. Yeah, I didn't want Parsons going to Dallas. That's definitely going to help their defense. They struggled mightily against the run last year, and that's only going to help them big time. He's not great in coverage, but they were horrible against the run, so it was a good pick for them. Ignacio, man, thank you very much. Being a season ticket holder, by mid-October, we have a winning record. I promise you, Dana, I will give you one of my seats for a game of your choice. I appreciate that, my man. I'm definitely going to at least one game this year, and I want to organize a tailgate. So I think it'll probably be early in the year, but I appreciate that, Ignacio. Robert, man, thank you very much. Toney takes pressure off the offensive line. See film. Definitely does. The guy creates quick separation. He's exactly the type of wide receiver that we needed. And it's why I was completely okay with the pick. Will, man, thank you very much. Why are some fans complaining about Toney? I actually don't mind the pick. Plus, the hole we got back was a great steal, period. I think most fans, and last night you had a lot of fans that were going crazy. I think most fans have come around to the pick now. Like Daniel Jones, I think it took like 2 weeks for fans to start to come around to. I think most fans have come around on the Toney pick. I think there's still a handful that hate it, but I think most fans have come around to it. And Kylie, man, thank you very much. Give me quarterback killer, a.k.a. pass rusher, or a big fat guy who can eat a pass rusher. By the way, get a construction at. We building a team who can compete. I love it, Kylie. And I'm with you. I think that's what I want today. I want both of those today. Whether it be in the second or the third, I want the lineman, and the same thing with the edge rusher. That's what I want today. In an ideal scenario, that's what I want. Yeah, a lot of people have been asking me about Cosme. Completely fine with him. Kyle, man, thank you very much. Any picks other than a running back you dislike round 2? I mean, it's hard for me to say. Like, if you really reach on a player, I'm not going to like the pick. But running back to me is what scares me the most. I don't want a running back. I think it's a need. I think we need more depth in the backfield, but not not a day 2 pick. So that's what scares me the most today. I do not want a running back. Other than that, I'd even be okay with a corner. I'd be okay with an edge. I'd be okay with a coverage linebacker. I don't want a safety. So I would say a safety and a running back. Outside of that, I'm completely fine with really whatever they do today. Yeah. No, I don't want a wide receiver either. I don't want another wide receiver. So I'll say that. Justin, man, thank you very much. Can we get a Toney touchdown play-by-play? This is going to be tough, man. Joseph, what's going on? And here's the rookie, Kadarius Toney, lining up there in the backfield. Now they're going to motion him out wide left. The Giants on the 15-yard line here of the Chicago Bears. I think they play the Bears next year, if I'm not mistaken. They're on the 15-yard line here of the Chicago Bears. Of course, this is going to help the Giants just as much by the Bears losing as the Giants winning. They have their first-round pick next year. Toney motions out wide left. He's in the slot here. Looks like a mismatch. He's lined up on a linebacker. Jones takes the snap out of the shotgun. Toney with a quick slip to the left. He's open over the middle of the field. Jones throws a bullet. Touchdown, New York Giants. Stand up, New York Giants. Justin, man, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Vin, I appreciate it. He says, can we get a coordinator who uses 26 Kenny and Toney? I think they added a lot of members to this coaching staff this year that are going to make this a much more creative offense. Let's put it that way. And Will, man, thank you very much. You know who took an L, the Packers, still not getting any receivers for Rodgers, but Rodgers ain't going to be there. I think they're going to trade Rodgers. Do you think they might? Yeah, I think they are going to move him. And I'm thinking Denver. I actually said last night that it would have been ironic if they drafted a first-round wide receiver because they never have drafted Aaron Rodgers first-round wide receiver, but they didn't do it. Yeah, they are. What's going on, Ron? Yeah, they are. You think we should trade down for 42 and get more assets? I wouldn't be opposed to it if the right deal presented itself. How would you feel about Carlos Basham? Or I would be completely fine with either one of those players. Not the best available options, but I think they are realistic picks. Yeah, I would be completely fine with it. I don't think I had Quinn on my list, but I should have put him on my list. John, man, thank you very much. I want an offensive lineman, but could you imagine Barmore? That's what I said, John. And it's not a biggest need, but I would not. Some Giant fans may be pissed. I already see it. If we take Christian Barmore, there's going to be a portion of the fan base is going to be like, oh, no. They took another fatty. Oh, no. He's too good to pass up there, in my opinion. If you could get Barmore here in the second round, I mean, we lost Alvin Tomlinson. He'd be a long-term answer there on the line. I think you do it. I would not be opposed at all to taking him. I don't think he'll be there. Plus, you prevent him from going to the Cowboys. Like, for all the people that think about preventing people from going to a team, Christian Barmore on the Cowboys, if you add him with the linebacker that they got yesterday in Parsons, all of a sudden they have a good run defense. So I would not be opposed at all to taking Barmore. MD says Barmore's day. I would take him. I would take him. Nikki says Barmore way too good to pass up, Chris. Our line would be even better than. Yeah, I think if he's there, you take him. And Khalid says, I love this channel so much, man. I appreciate it, Khalid. Joseph says, Chris, what's your grade on the Toney pick? A B. But with the possibility of an A if you include the trade, depending on what picks we get from the Bears next year. But I give it a B. Tago says people compare Toney to Deebo Samuel. I think that's a good comparison. Deebo Samuel, they use a little bit in the backfield as well. I think that's a pretty good comparison. Chris, check Rappaport. Let me take a quick look. Rappaport. If Aaron Rodgers retires to host Jeopardy or just retires, he would have to repay the team $11.5 million this year and $11.5 million if he remains retired next year, all from his signing bonus, unless the situation is repaired to his liking. This is a serious consideration, I'm told. He's considering retiring? I hope not, man. He's still got a lot of football left. He just won the MVP last year. I hope not. And Vin, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, only thing that hurt was Micah to Dallas Payne. Yeah, I know most Giant fans wanted him, or a lot of Giants fans. Well, really, the two players that went to our division rivals were the two players the Giants fans wanted the most, Smith and Parsons. So I get that aspect of it. And DJ Smooth, thank you very much. No, that would be I don't want a running back. I don't want a running back. Quillogic says, stay hydrated. Yeah, I better. And I got to get some food in my stomach after this. Yeah, I know he's announced at the day 2 pick. John says, Chris, did you hear that Joe Judge said about the character issue, guys? Because Tony had character issues as well. What I did hear, and again, I didn't hear the press conference. I read the quotes. What I heard about Tony was the Giants went as far back as high school when analyzing him, and they were not concerned with what they saw. They did extensive, they had a long interview with him during the Senior Bowl day, and they were impressed with him. That's what I heard. Jamie says, be up until 5 a.m. again, watching the draft here in the UK in the family cave. Let's go, Big Blue. What's going on, Jamie, man? Thanks for popping in. Josh says, Louis says, just came in here to say, give me a hug. What's up, Louis? Josh says, one of the beat writers said that if there were no trades at 11, he would have taken AVT. At 20, it was between Bateman and Toney. I'm not surprised by that. I was completely for AVT at 11. So they obviously preferred AVT. That's interesting. But I'm not surprised by that. It was either Slade or AVT if you were going on with a lineman there. I'm not surprised by that. He was getting late steam. So they ultimately ended up trading down and going with their best wide receiver on their board. Elvis says, we need an offensive lineman in the second pick all the way. I agree. I want to go offensive line here. What's up, Cole? Khalid says, I'm ready to get my stacks ready for the second round. Let's go, Giants. Tweez says, Chris, talk about the kid, possibly the tight end from Penn State as a possible selection. Pat Freiermuth, I don't really see him as a possible selection. I know a lot of Giants fans want him, they and I get it, but had we not signed Kyle Rudolph, I think he'd be a possible selection. But I guess anything's possible. Maybe they stick Freiermuth on the bench and or whatever, and they feel like he's going to be the long-term answer. Maybe they end up trading Evan Ingram today or in the future. I don't think we're going to draft Pat Freiermuth. I'd be surprised. I know some Giant fans would be excited with that pick. I don't think we're going to take Pat Freiermuth. And Bryce, man, thank you very much. He says, if JOK falls, are you taking him? Yes. I would definitely consider it. Yes. Let me, somebody said do a mock draft. I mean, all right, I'm going to need your guys' help. I'll do a quick one. I'm going to need your guys' help because there's no way I'm going to remember where every player went. But I'll do that. I'll do a 3-round mock draft. Well, 3 rounds too tough. I'll do just for the second round. I'll try my best. I'm going to need your guys' help, though. There's no way I'm going to be able to remember every pick. I know that. Whoops. I thought I picked all teams. Oh, they do it for you. They already simulated every. Oh, that's cool. Okay. They do it for you. All right. There we go. We're on the clock. Pick number 32. J-Man, thank you very much. Love the trade back, but this is the type of pick that if it busts, people look back and say, duh. Has to be a Judge pick because you need job security. I think Judge definitely had a lot to say with this. We know that Judge expresses versatility. There's not a more versatile player in this year's draft, probably. So I think it was definitely definitely Judge influenced. All right, so let's get rid of this ad. And the Jaguars are on the clock. Jaguars obviously went with Trevor Lawrence. They didn't have. They did have a second pick. Where'd they go with their second pick? They went with a running back, Travis Etienne. I am going to go offensive line here for the Jaguars. I'm not 100% sure how good their offensive line is, but I think you got to help out your quarterback. They have pretty good wide receivers as is. I could definitely see them taking a receiver. I think they're going offense here. They could go with a guy like Elijah Moore or Terrace Marshall. But I think I'm gonna go line here with them. And I think I'm going to go Tevin Jenkins, who I want to drop to the Giants. But I think I'm going to go Tevin Jenkins to the Jaguars. Let me just make sure what their team needs are. I'd imagine they could use line help. Doesn't say they do, but maybe they won't. But I think I'm going to go Tevin Jenkins to the Jaguars. You guys say Muir. You guys say Muir. You know what? You know what? Let's go Muir. That's a good call. Morig or however it's pronounced. He was expected to go to them at 25. That's a good call. I'll take him here. That's fair. I think that's fair. Jets wide receiver. Let me just get a couple of these before I lose them. I got J-Man J. And Jackman, thank you very much. Round one was crazy. How about Trey Lance to the foot? Yeah. I thought that was a good pick by them, though. I'm a big fan of Trey Lance, and I think he'll do well there with Shanahan. He's got upside. I like that pick for them. New York Giants says pass block or run block for a guard. I mean, hopefully both. But Lemieux sucks in pass protection. He's actually pretty good in run blocking. Jordan says, I'd like Barmore if he's available. Keep Lawrence and Williams outside. Yeah, I haven't even really looked at what these teams need and whether or not he's a realistic possibility if he could drop. I'd be completely for Christian Barmore if he drops. I think he's the best player on the board right now. Him or J.O.K. J-Man, thank you very much. People aren't talking about how the Jets probably jumped the Giants for Tucker at 20. It's possible, but I think somebody else would have taken Elijah Vera Tucker if the Jets didn't. I think he was going somewhere. I don't think he was getting to 20. To me, Vera Tucker was definitely worthy of being a top 15 pick. Michael, man, thank you very much. I bet Bad Dog loves the Eagles even more after that bowl they pulled last night. I wanted Devontae Smith. Yeah, I know a lot of Giants fans wanted him. All right, Jets. Jets could probably use a receiver, right? I would imagine. It says quarterback, tackle, and corner. They could use a corner. I remember a lot of people mocking them to take a corner. I'm going to go Elijah Moore to the Jets. They could use a receiver, can't they? And they already have a good interior defensive lineman. What about corner? Let me see. Kelvin Joseph, Asante Samuel. All right, let's go defense. Let's go Asante Samuel. Falcons. To me, it's got to be line or defense. Let's see what they say the team needs are. Quarterback, safety, running back, cornerback, offensive guard. Let's see. What do you guys think? You want to go Barmore here? I hope not, but you want to go Barmore here? Joker here? You know what? I'll let the chat decide. You guys want to go Joker? We'll go Joker. J-O-K? All right, we'll go J-O-K. He does seem like a Falcons pick. They usually go for, like, high athletic players. Dolphins. Dolphins took Phillips and Waddle with their first two picks. So they got an edge and a receiver. Line. I think line makes too much sense here to the Dolphins. I'll go Tevin Jenkins here. I think that's fair. I think it makes too much sense here. I'll go Tevin Jenkins to the Dolphins. I think that's a pretty legitimate pick there. I'll go Tevin Jenkins. Eagles. Eagles went with Devontae Smith. The Eagles could go so many ways. I know they need a linebacker. I don't think there's anybody there worth drafting. I mean, maybe Bolton. They could go Osai. They could go Ojulari. I don't know how well Ojulari fits their scheme. Barmore. The Eagles historically love the defensive line. Fletcher Cox isn't the youngest guy. They do have two good defensive tackles, though. They picked up the guy from the Steelers last year. So I don't think they would go Barmore. They need a corner, right? Let me see the corners. Art tweet. Let me see. Hold on. Art Stapleton. Art says lots of buzz to expect Georgia cornerback Tyson Campbell to lead things off with we just screwed that up. The Jaguars at 33. All right, so Tyson Campbell's probably going to be the pick at 33. So, okay. Asante Samuel's already off the board. I had him going to the Jets. Paulson and Debo to me is too big of a reach here. Let's go Tyson Campbell here since I guess we know he's going off the board. I guess we'll go Tyson Campbell here to the Eagles since we know he's going to be off the board anyway. Okay. Cincinnati took Jamar Chase. Their biggest needs are tackle. They need to take a lineman here. They need to take a line. They're going line here. Cosme. I think Cosme makes sense here to the Cincinnati. And Raphael, man, thank you very much. I want JOK and Ben Cleveland. I think Ben Cleveland is definitely a possibility. You think Dickerson? I think Cosme. Could be Eichenberg. I'll go Cosme. Carolina. Carolina got a corner. What's their team needs? Cornerback, offensive tackle, safety, and linebacker. And they drafted a corner. So Barmore here could make sense. They drafted a DT, though, last year in the first round. Oh, no, I never mind. It doesn't list the DT. So they're not taking Barmore. Linebacker. Could Jabril Cox make sense? I feel like that's a reach. What do you guys think? You think Eichenberg? You think Eichenberg? Okay, we'll go Eichenberg. Lineman falling off the board. Denver. Denver took Surtain. Their team needs are where's Denver? Linebacker, edge, quarterback, running back, safety. Do you think it's possible? No, never mind. Let's see who's the best player available. Azeez Ojulari is still there. Barmore. Could Barmore make sense here? And thank you very much, AJ, man. Honestly, I would love if we traded Shep since we just got another weapon. And the 5th or 4th rounder that we need just received to move up and get JOK. I just don't see anybody trade. I just don't see anybody trading for Shep. He makes too much money. I just don't see anybody trading for Shep. I was going to say, is it possible? JOK's off the board. JOK's off the board. Is Ojulari? All right, let's take Ojulari here. Detroit seems like the type of team that would take Barmore, don't they? They seem like the type of team that would take Barmore with the hard-nosed coach. They got Penny Sewell. Their biggest need is a wide receiver, linebacker, quarterback, cornerback, and say, I'm going to go wide receiver here. There's too many. They need a wide receiver. Terrace Marshall. Let's go Terrace Marshall. Okay, so the Giants are on the clock. And after Marshall's gone, Barmore to me is far and away the best player. He is the best player. Joseph Asai is on the board. Let's take a look at the edges. Basham, Asai, Perkins. Those are your 3 options there if you're going edge. The tackle, guard, you got Wyatt Davis still. You got Trey Smith. You got Ben Cleveland. Center, you got Creed Humphrey. And then on defense, obviously I said Barmore. And to me, I'd have to strongly consider Christian Barmore here if he fell. Everybody's saying Creed. I would take Barmore. But we'll take. You know what? I know people want Creed. I just think Barmore's too good. And I think he fills a future need on this defense. And I'd wait till round 3 for my lineman. If this happened. I'll make the chat happy, though. We'll go with Creed, who I'd be completely happy with. But let's put it this way. When they're on the clock, if Barmore's there, I'm going to want him. But we'll go Creed. Fills a need. We'll go Creed. I love the Hogs. We'll go Creed. And if you get Creed there, that's a good pick. I don't think Barmore will be there. I just feel like he's too good. I think somebody is going to take him. And Saeed, man, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anybody. He says, the Giants are reminding me of the Dolphins from last year. Also, I think Jabril Cox could be better than Parsons in our defense with Patrick Graham. I think Jabril Cox fits our defense very well. I just would prefer him in the third if he dropped. I don't think I want to take him in the second. But, listen, looking at that board, I think it's entirely possible Barmore could drop. And that's going to be a discussion that I think the Giants at least have to have. Do you take Christian Barmore there? But Barmore, Creed, I think that's probably what you're looking at. An interior offensive lineman, Barmore. I think a lot of these tackles are going to fall off the board with these first 10 picks in the second round. And let's see. LA, man, thank you very much. Patriots fans getting hyped about their dollar store knockoff. The real thing's winning his 8th Super Bowl with Tampa in January. I'm not a fan of Mac Jones. He could be good. Don't get me wrong. Belichick's a great coach, and maybe they maybe they turn him into a great quarterback. I know he's smart, but I'm not a huge fan of him. Vin, man, thank you very much. Is Creed a potential starter over Gates? Or I think if you're drafted Creed, I think he starts. And he probably starts at the center, and you move Gates to guard. Talking about that very much. Barmore, Hogg, Dave Gettleman on defense, and from Alabama, Judge. I think we would take Barmore there, if I'm being honest. That's what I think we would do. If he's there, I think we would take him. But I don't think he's going to be there. I think he'll be off the board. Chris, do you think Devontae Smith will be an Eagle beyond his rookie deal? I mean, that's impossible for me to predict. You could have injuries. I think he's definitely more than talented. Definitely talented enough to be an Eagle beyond his rookie deal, but he's got to stay healthy. He's got to prove that he's worthy of a second contract. But if I had to guess, I would say yes. Our stream's going to start at 6:30. I'm going to end this one in about 20 minutes. I think I ended at 4:20 yesterday. Smoke them if you got them. We'll end it at 4:20 today. I'll take a breather. We'll go live at 6:30, and then we're going to do the full second and third round today. And then we'll talk about some of the prospects that maybe leak into the to day 3 that the New York Giants could be looking at. Creed. No, I didn't say Creed is versatile. Did I say Creed is versatile? Nick Gates is versatile. Creed would take over for Nick Gates. Gates, you can move to the guard. Matthew says, just had an epiphany. What if we pull up the Philly special on Philly? That would be great, Matthew. It's going to be on this channel, yeah. Bad there's going to be here, but it's going to be on this channel. And tomorrow's going to be on this channel also. Day 2 and 3. The Chiefs signed Jerick McKinnon. Huh. You want to talk about a guy with injury history. Saraceno says, that's why I don't think we go center at 2. Gates is great at center. Yeah, I think you'd have to move Gates to the guard if you did it. I wouldn't be opposed to it because I think Gates is good at guard too, so I wouldn't be opposed to it. But can we trade? No. Ingram first? No. We'd be lucky to get a third. I think he'd probably get a 4th. I agree with that, Vin. Bryce, he says, if we get JOK or Christian and then O-line 3rd round, are you happy with yes? And again, if you would ask me before, I would have said O-line 1st or 2nd round, but if you end up getting a solid offensive lineman in the 3rd that you feel like you could mold into a starter or at least provide very valuable depth and eventually become a starter, and you get a good defensive player like Christian Barmore, I thought Barmore for sure was going to be a 1st round pick. Yes, I'd be happy with that. Or JOK. Both those guys were supposed to be 1st round picks. You end up getting one of these guys. That's kind of like McKinney last year. You end up getting one of these guys in the 2nd round. I mean, as good as our D-line is, you stick Barmore on that D-line with the 2 guys we got already, like, wow. What's up there, Word? Great. I'm actually going to have pizza tonight, Akeem. I'm going to have pizza tonight. I think he's probably going to be gone, TNB. You want JOK? I think those will probably be the 2 best defensive players, but we could definitely go edge as well. Old Ojulari is up there too. You want Wyatt Davis or Creed? I get it. Yeah, I'm getting pizza. I'll probably get meatball. I might get pepperoni. I haven't decided yet. Can Slayton get replaced by Toney? Yes. Yes. They're not obviously not the same type of wide receiver, but I do think Slayton's role is going to be reduced because we drafted Toney. Yes. They're used in different ways, but he'll get less targets. Let's see what we got. Royal Money, thank you very much. Who is the best running back on the board that fits our play? Let's take a quick look at the running back rankings. I'll share the screen again with you guys. These are the running backs that are available right now. Javonte Williams is the best running back, by most people's standards right now. If the Giants are going for a day 2 running back, you're looking either at Javonte Williams, Michael Carter, round 3, Gainwell possibly out of Memphis. I think everybody else is round 4 or later. So if they're going to take a running back today, it'll probably be one of those 3 players. I think Williams will go round 2. So if the Giants don't take him, they're probably not getting him. Carter had a really good Senior Bowl, if I remember properly. And I think he impressed a lot of teams, I think, at the Senior Bowl. He is a potential round 3 pick for the Giants if they're going running back, but I do not want a running back. And Vin, man, thank you very much. Jake already said you and Bad Dog podcast, good idea. Yeah, maybe in the future, maybe we will end up doing that once a week or something like that. I'd love to do that. Tyler, thank you very much. If we draft Creed and he starts at center, I think right guard will be Gates and right tackle will be Solder, but I could see paired as either the starting right guard or right tackle as well. You think Solder will start? Really? I don't think Solder's going to start. I think Parrott's going to be the starter. But we'll see. Obviously, if Parrott's not ready, they would start Solder. But I think Parrott, they sound confident in Parrott, man. Spin City, man, thank you very much. How do you think Shep feels today? I think Shep's still going to be very much involved in the offense this year. I don't think Shep's out of the offense. So I think Shep's going to go out there. I think he's still going to be a starter. I think the guy that this is going to affect the most for this year's team is Slayton. That's my honest opinion. I could be wrong, but I think right now Shepard's the more polished wide receiver. I don't think Shepard will be here long term. I think this is probably his last year with the Giants, but I think he'll still get his reps. Blue Collar, man, thank you very much. Hate and a first-round NFC East draft grades accounting for players and trades. If you include the trade, I give the Giants at least a B+. Like, I love the trade. So if you include the trade, I'll give the Giants at least a B+. I'll give Dallas like an A. Like, they traded down, they got more draft capital, and they still got Parsons. The Eagles, I'll give a B+. I'll give a B+ because they had to trade up to get him. So I'll give the Eagles a B+. I'll give Dallas an A. I'll give the Giants a B+. And I'll give Washington, I didn't love the pick. I give Washington like a C-. I didn't love their pick. And maybe there's Washington fans in here who don't like me saying that. I think it was a bit of a reach. I actually like JOK more for them. I didn't like their pick. That was actually one of my 4 or 5 least favorite picks in the first round. So I'll give Washington like a C-. Bryce, man, thank you very much. I can't wait for the Yankees to play the Mets so we could see you and Bad Dog do a stream where you both we did that last year, Bryce. We actually did a doubleheader together. Yeah, we'll definitely do it. We'll definitely do it this year if it fits both of our schedules. Derek, man, thank you very much. Everyone knocking the Toney pick doesn't understand what he could bring to the offense. Add on the trade. I think the Giants did a great job. Yeah, I would probably say A. I'm just trying not to sound biased, but I'd say at least a B+ if you include the trade last night for the Giants. Yeah, I like him. I just didn't like him where Washington took him. I think he was a second-round prospect. Do you think we could have traded back and taken Toney? Obviously, it takes 2 to tango, but still. I don't think Toney was getting past, well, let me look at the mock right here. Not a lot of wide receivers went after we picked, right? There was Bateman went at 27. And then after that, there wasn't another wide receiver. So maybe that would have been Toney. Obviously they went Bateman. I actually think it probably still would have been Bateman, but maybe it would have been Toney. But you don't know. You don't know if one of these teams would have liked Toney. You don't know if maybe Tennessee, they lost a wide receiver. They ended up going Caleb Farley, who's banged up, but maybe they would have taken Toney at 22. You don't know, So I think the Giants liked him, and they said we're gonna get our guys. So I don't mind them taking him at all. The Jets could have easily taken him at 34 in the second round before we picked again. So I I think they liked him and they took him where they took him. What's going on, TG Fishing? What a crazy night last night. Yeah, man. You would love JOK, wouldn't you? I like Dickerson. The only thing I worry about with him is the injuries, the ACLs, but I like him. I like him. I wouldn't be upset at all if we get him. Trade up for Aziz? No. I think Aziz could fall. I'm not necessarily predicting, but I think he could fall to us. Do you think we could get Barmore in the second, Cleveland in the third, and Kendrick Green in the fourth? You know I love Kendrick Green, DeGondre. If they did that, I honestly don't think Green's going to make it to the fourth. I definitely think we could get Cleveland in the third. And yes, I do think we could get Barmore and Cleveland. I think that's realistic. I think that's possible. If we ended up with that today, if we ended up with Barmore and Cleveland today, oh my God. Oh, I'd be happy. Oh, I'd be happy. If we got Christian Barmore and Cleveland today, that'd be a good day. Which team did you think had the worst night last night? I think the Raiders. I didn't like the Raiders pick. I think Leatherwood was a reach. They needed offensive line, though. So if he was their best offensive lineman on their board, they took him. But most people had him as a second-round prospect, and they took him in the mid-first. So I think the Raiders had the worst pick, which is no surprise. Most people feel that way usually with the Raiders. Barmore's you know what? You want to see a quick highlight of Barmore? I'll show it on the screen. Barmore is an interior defensive lineman, but he's a first-round talent. Here's Barmore. He had a great hold on one second. Let me share the screen real quick.
Say rap ain't finna get my ass a scholarship. And how come every teacher's motto is music ain't gonna do for you what scholarship for me. That's party with the people that believe.
Number 58.
The pocket collapses, and he
That's Barmore.
Underneath Christian Barmore.
Watch this interior twist by Barmore and DJ Dale, okay? This is so difficult for an offensive line. Twist.
Jefferson, he'll be sacked again by Barmore.
After today, I might give it to Barmore.
Yeah, he has been
Pretty athletic for an interior defensive lineman.
Barmore has been a problem.
Was out there as the captain of the coin toss in Alabama.
Pretty quick.
Christian Barmore making a name for himself, maybe making some money, moving up the draft board. A monster night.
Yeah, Paris Johnson moved from left guard now to right guard, and he's just got a misunderstanding.
It's the four-man rush, but they get to Buck, who can't unload it with Christian Barmore.
Marco, man, thank you very much, man, for the $2 donation. I appreciate it.
Line. Well, Barmore with just a bull rush in between the right guard and the center. Looking to throw here. Extra men coming on the rush. He dropped the ball. Scooped it back up, though.
He's pretty quick
Just a couple yards.
for a big guy.
So sometimes a bull rush can cause a lot of problems. Trey Hill's got his hands full this time.
He is vicious.
Back-to-back sacks. This one's Christian Barmore.
He's got that bull rush.
Devontae Smith's the player of the game on the offensive side. Barmore's having a big night.
Fourth down, and Teague is dropped.
Can you imagine adding him to our defensive line?
With the tackle for loss, and the Tide take over.
And Nicky, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says he dominated two great O-lines back to back. Yeah, dude, he was huge in the playoffs.
Christian Barmore, I think, got a hand on that one at the 8-minute mark.
And Andrew, man, thank you very much. Show Kadarius Toney highlights. Show them what's up. What's going on, Andrew? Yeah, I'll show those next if you want.
Barmore again, big number 58.
What do you think Alabama worked on all week?
Batting down passes with a 5'11" quarterback.
Exactly.
And they'll give it to Williams. And he's dragged down for a loss by Christian Barmore.
Yes.
Pressure coming up. The middle of the ball is out. Finley trying to get back on top of it and does, but it's going to be fourth down as he had it stripped out of there by Christian Barmore.
It was number 58.
He's pretty good.
Coming in, probably
He's pretty good.
Alabama's best inside pass rusher.
So that's why I said, man, if he's there, I would not be upset at all if the New York Giants took him. I'll do a quick highlight video of Toney, but I mean, I'm sure all you guys watched this.
You work in a team, you should be using Monday.com. It's a platform to manage any team and any.
This is the site I go to when I watch a lot of highlights. It's not film breakdowns, bro.
That last catch on the play, setting up a third.
There is, oh my God. Look at the double move. Look at this double move by he's like so unique with his route running. Like he beats people with like shiftiness. Watch the double move.
Catch on the play,
look at that. Little stop. Oh, man. He is nasty.
Over the middle, wide open, first down, and then some. Toney still on the move. The turbo kicking in. Toney, TNT, touchdown Gators.
We've been talking all day that this is one of their best playmakers, not named Kyle Pitts. Just get him the football, and he'll do the rest.
3 grabs on 5 targets so far.
He's so shifty. This play is insane. They showed this a close-up I saw somewhere else, and maybe they show it here. His knee basically almost touches the ground, and he has enough strength to bounce back up.
Might be the shiftiest player in college football, Kadarius Toney, on the score.
And they use him as a running back.
Toney
Here's a punt return.
Great okey doke. And they score the touchdown. Gotcha. Kadarius Toney took advantage of the misdirection in punt coverage.
Here he is on a jet sweep.
Toney on the jet motion as he's able to break that first tackle.
Oh.
And look at Kadarius Toney. A burst of power and then a whole lot of speed. Chunk play, Gators.
Here he is again in the backfield.
Toney trying to get to the edge. Foot race, 10, 5, tight ropes.
He's a fun player, man.
Touchdown. The hat trick for Kadarius Toney.
There's another nice double move. And Greg, man, thank you very much. Reminds me of more of I could see Landry a little bit. I could see that a little bit. Not so much in terms of in the backfield, but I see it a little bit. I think the Harvin comparison is just natural because they both went to Florida and they both were used as like gadget players in the backfield.
Toney, and he's got it. Touchdown, Florida. Kadarius Toney.
Kadarius Toney was in the slot, and
he just blows by that guy.
True freshman Malachi Moore.
Toney juking in the backfield. Trask, Toney, touchdown, Florida. The Gators do it again at the end of the first half. Trask in the pocket. Wide open, touchdown, Toney. Hopefully for Aggie.
Here he's on the outside.
Here's the quarterback, Trask backing.
Oh, no, that was Pitts. They circled Pitts on that play.
Getting into it with an A-Lin defender.
And Kyler, man, thank you very much. Toney 8 gave the play. Yeah.
Swung out wide. Kadarius Toney.
The PlayStation 5 controller. And LA says, who will take more snaps away from Shep? I think he's going to take more snaps away from Slayton, if I had to guess.
7 for Trask.
But that's just a guess.
Goes and into the hands of Toney.
Shepard can play on the outside too. I think they'll still both get I think all 4 of them will get a decent amount of snaps. But yeah, there's the highlights for Toney, man. He's pretty fun. I think he's a fun prospect. He's a pretty fun prospect. And Dylan, man, thank you very much. Toney is the Giants' Taysom Hill versatility-wise. And he could throw. Yeah, like Taysom Hill could. He's a fun player, man. He definitely has a different dynamic to the New York Giants wide receiving core. Hey, Dana, thoughts on the Dolphins picks? I thought the Dolphins had a good draft. Let me who'd they get with their second pick again? They did they no. Let me see. I thought they had a good draft though. Let me see. Trying to remember who they picked. I love Waddle. I'm trying to remember your second pick.
The only thing better than a new 5G phone.
Sure, somebody said it. Oh, Phillips. Yeah. No, Jalen Phillips at 18 is fine. I personally don't love Phillips where we were picking at 11 at 18. He's fine. He's super talented. You just worry about the injuries. But yeah, you can't really complain with that pick. And I love Waddle. He was my second favorite wide receiver. So I think he's going to be great for your team. Plus, he's got chemistry with your quarterback. Tyler, man, thank you very much. If Barmore, Ojulari, and Creed are all there at 42, who would we take? Also, what's the farthest you see those three guys falling? I think Barmore's the best player. I would take Barmore. I just think he's too talented. I would take Barmore, but I would lean Ojulari out of those if that were the case, because Ojulari with the ties to our coaching staff, I think he fits the scheme. I think he fills an immediate need. But I think Barmore's the best player. Sticky Fingers, man. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, so happy we maneuvered this pick instead of taking Mr. Popsicle Sticks for legs. I wanted a receiver, but I'm sorry I did not trust Smith. Nothing to apologize about. There was a lot of people that questioned Smith due to his size. I questioned him a bit. It's a part of the reason why I like Waddle better. I just think Waddle's a better receiver. And Ryan, man, thank you very much. Tony is a wide receiver returner and a rapper. Hog tonight. We're definitely taking Hog with one of our two picks, I think. We'll see. Tony was suspended in Florida and caught with an AR-15. I know about that. But to my knowledge, Spin City, I could be wrong, and I didn't know it was an AR-15. I thought it was a shotgun. Maybe it was an AR-15. I thought it was a shotgun. I thought I read that it was a shotgun. But regardless, from what I heard, it was a legal gun. He didn't illegally own it. I'm pretty sure. So he didn't break the law. But and in Florida, probably everybody has a gun. But I thought it was a BR tweet. BR tweet. I don't know. Who's BR? Who's BR? I don't know who BR is. Bleacher Report. Bleacher Report. What'd they say? Yeah, somebody said that earlier. Aaron Rodgers retiring is a serious consideration unless the situation for Green Bay. Yeah, Rappaport reported that earlier. They're just adding clickbait to it. So we'll see if he actually considers it. But they reported that earlier. I guess it was 2 times. But listen, at the end of the day, if it's legal, I'm not a gun person. I don't own guns. But if it's legal, I mean, whatever, but yeah, I didn't think it was an AR. I thought it was a shotgun, James. I thought it was a shotgun. Why is Dylan Moses falling MLB 2? He's supposed to go in the 3rd round, Connecticut. Yeah, I heard about Bleacher Report already. I read it. Tago says, Chris, I don't love Ingram, but I feel like he gets way too much hate. I don't think he gets too much hate. Ryan says, Taney, you going to be live for the draft tonight? Also, you should own guns and embrace the Second Amendment right. I mean, it is what it is. Everybody's entitled to their own thing. But, I'm not saying get rid of guns at all. But I don't think we should not draft the guy because he owns guns. It's completely legal. Why Waddle over Smith? Have you watched Waddle? I'm being honest, and I know Smith got a lot more hype because he won the Heisman Trophy and he's a really good player. Waddle to me is one of the most explosive prospects I've seen in the last 10 years at the wide receiver position. Jalen Waddle to me is ridiculous. The only question you have is he got hurt this year, but Waddle is special, man. He's OBJ. When I watch him, he reminds me of OBJ. That's the type of receiver I feel like he is. Because we're New York. What player would you be mad about if we drafted in the second round? What player would I be mad about if we drafted in the second round? I mean, that's so hard for me to say because there's so many players we could take. You know, it becomes less and less predictable. But I'm going to continue to say running back. If we took a running back, I'll be pissed. That will be – I'm not going to give a Daniel Jones reaction, but that would be the closest thing to a Daniel Jones reaction if we drafted a running back. Third round, I wouldn't flip. Second round, I'd be really pissed. J.R. Payne, man, thank you very much. Let's go O-line, and I hope Perkins is there in the third. Yeah, I think O-line's the smarter approach, but we'll see. Kenny says, not going to lie, I'd love a solid second middle linebacker to complement Blake Martinez. Yeah, and we may be able to get that in the third. Maybe Jabril Cox drops to the third. Guys, I got it. I'm starving. I don't know why. I ate today, but I am starving. And I'm going to make sure I get some food in my stomach before the stream. I'm going to be live here in 2 hours with Bad Dog. I'm going to set up the stream as soon as I finish this one so you can pop on over there and hang out and talk to people in the chat if you want about the draft tonight. It'll be up in about 15 minutes. And Sticky Fingers, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. I agree that Ingram is overhated. The drops kill me too. But we acting like we could replace 60 catch tight end easily. I think he's a good. He creates separation. He's a mismatch, but he's got to catch the ball, and he's not. He's a mediocre blocker. I would not sign him to a second contract though. I just wouldn't. I think maybe a little bit overhated, but he deserves a lot of the hate that he got. He did cost us at least 2 games last year. But guys, I am gonna get some. I'm gonna get some pizza. That's what I am gonna have tonight. We're gonna get some New York pizza. But I am going to call the stream. I just want to say thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you guys for all the support. I had a lot of fun in the stream today. And we're going to be live in 2 hours. Bad Dog going to be on the channel. We got some big picks tonight for the New York Giants. Hopefully you guys come on by, blow up the stream, have a lot of fun tonight. I'll set up that stream. You guys go in there, talk some draft. And we'll talk soon, guys. Have a great rest of your day. And let's enjoy the draft tonight. Live at 6:30.